Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Townville, South Carolina, a weekend party binge between a new group of friends turns ugly when 3 people are found brutally murdered in a remote field. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder. Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again this week. We are psyched. We have a crazy, good God, this is an insane episode again this week.
Great.
We've been pulling them out of the woodwork, the wild ones, and they're all here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to have a blast. In case you didn't hear it last week, tickets for Charlotte are on sale now. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. You can go there and get all your tickets for all your live shows, but Charlotte is finally on sale, so you guys can get all your tickets to Charlotte. That is going to be fun. It's September 27th, so do that. Get there. Have a good time. Otherwise, we're going to skip over some of the stuff in the beginning. We'll put it at the end, just quick, because it's a kind of a beefy story today.
Right.
And so we'll do that just quickly. Thank you to all our producers, obviously. Patreon.com/crime and sports, or PayPal with our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Thank you. We're going to have a long list at the end of you wonderful people. Good God, we love you so much. So
you really change lives.
You change lives. So before we get right into this episode, quickly, disclaimer. Have to have the disclaimer here. That's a fact. This is a comedy podcast.
It is.
If you're looking for the dead serious rendition and telling of a story, you're in the wrong place. This is not it. The story's real. It's just as real as Dateline or anything else, but rather than, and then he cut her head off, and it's a little bleak for us. So we're going to have some fun with it like we always do. We are comedians, so we're going to make fun of small towns and murderers and idiots around that do crazy shit around crimes.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah, because it's not, obviously someone being murdered isn't exactly, that part's not funny, but everything around it a lot of times is pretty goddamn funny. So we're going to do that. If that sounds good to you, you're in the right place, because one thing we try not to do is we go out of our way to avoid making fun of the victim or the victim's family because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. Yes. That's the way that works. So if that sounds good to you, you're in the right place. If you think true crime and comedy should never go together, you should go check Dateline out, because I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's going to be, won't be as fun, but it'll be, you'll get information, I guess.
You'll get a story.
For everybody else who wants to have a good time, we're going to do it right now. Let's do it. Let's shout from the rooftops, out of your car window, from your treadmill, if you're on there. It doesn't matter. Wherever you are, shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
I'd love to.
What do you say? Let's get out of here. We were in Minnesota last week, and even though it's June, it's probably still White Earth, Minnesota. Yes. Why is it called White Earth? I don't know, because it's covered in snow 10 and a half months out of the year, probably.
It's white people covered in white snow.
That's what it is, yeah. So this week, though, we're going to head down south, as we always kind of switch up regions, as we like to do here. We're going to head down south, and we're going to go to South Carolina. We're going down deep south here, down into Townville, South Carolina, which is Townville. It sounds like a placeholder name. Or like, we'll give it a name later. Right now, it's Townville. We'll just slap that. Yeah,
it's two of them.
It's in parentheses, like it's a total placeholder, working title,
it's
big
two
time
suffixes.
Yeah,
for every other place in America.
And we don't have anything to name it after, so it's a town and a ville of a town.
Is there a
Townvilleburg? Townvilleburg.
Is there
City.
a Fieldburg somewhere around this country?
Townvilleburg. City.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous here. This place is in northwestern South Carolina. It's that little, South Carolina is a triangle, the way it works, and the pointy part of it, you pick a pointy part, and that's facing the inside and kind of cocked northwest a little bit. It's in there. Basically, if South Carolina was a pan, this would be the nub that the handle would grow out of.
Got you.
It's the panhandle is where we are here. I'm going to say that would be a panhandle.
It is so much fun to force a place to be a panhandle.
You know what? But if it was a pan, this is where you'd hold it. Yeah. You wouldn't hold it on the big round end. You'd hold it over here.
It's a good point.
It's the handle, man. It's hot. That's what it is. There's way more than just a couple of panhandles. Way more panhandles. It's about an hour and 45 minutes to Atlanta, so it's over there, farther away from not near the ocean or anything like that. Hour 45 to Atlanta, where we will be doing a live show at the Buckhead Theater September 29th, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes to Charlotte, which tickets are on sale for right now, September 27th. We'll be there. It's funny too. It just worked out that those are the cities, and we're there in a weekend, the same weekend.
So good.
And it's about 3 hours and 50 minutes to James Island, which was episode 81.
That's right.
Our last South Carolina episode, which was from August of 2018.
Holy shit.
10 months here, almost a year since we've been to South Carolina.
Is that the one with the bridge, like that washed out?
No. That was
I think that was Peru.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry.
This town is in Anderson County. It's a little drop. It's another one of these towns where it's so rural that they're like, I don't know, the border's kind of just, some people say there's the border and some people say there's the border. Pray tell, where the fuck is your border? What county are you in? They also, some places say a little drop of this town is in Oconee County. Oconee, I don't know how to say that. So
how do you spell it?
But Oconee.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't jump in with a guess on that. You just, okay. Yeah. Move on. Let's pretend I didn't hear that. You thought you were going to have the pronunciation. Oh, no, it's this.
I was going to at least guess it.
Yeah, and you went, oh, no.
That's a panic room
that
right
is,
there.
Oh, yeah. I oh, no.
That's ugly.
Exactly. That's what I thought, too. I'm like, I don't know how to say this. Just don't tweet me. I don't care. So zip code 29689, area code 864. It is an unincorporated community. In other words, they just kind of bum off the county, I guess, or nearby towns if something's on fire. So motto here is, quote, "We aren't even a real town. You think we have a fucking motto?" No, they don't have a motto. They have nothing. They can't even agree to pay for a fire department together.
It's called fucking Townville. What do you expect?
Whatever. That's what our motto is. Looking for a town or a ville? We're both.
We got you covered.
Come on in. Let's go. Now, history of this town. We kind of have to do... It's hard to do history of a town that was just kind of out there. The main history here comes from Anderson, which is right by there. It's like 10 miles away. That's kind of a bigger town. It's not a big town, but it's a bigger town than this, and kind of the center of Anderson County. So they keep more history there. This area was first settled by the Cherokee, Native Americans, obviously.
Right.
And during the American Revolution, the Cherokee sided with the British, which we've talked about before. And then after the American Revolutionary War, the Cherokee's land was then acquired as war reparations.
Hell yeah.
And Colin, hell yeah, he says, hell yeah, give him those smallpox blankets. Yeah.
Hell yeah, wipe them out.
March him to Oklahoma. That was the weirdest reaction to genocide I've ever heard in my fucking life. Ladies and gentlemen, literally, my partner Andrew Jackson. That's literally his policy.
I mean, it's so crazy how we fucking hide from that so much.
I know, it's so funny. Yeah, it's not.
It's such
people
a
do
ridiculous thing.
And if you bring it up, people are like, they just wave it off.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. I don't know.
Kind of like a chapter in our history.
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's maybe the darkest chapter in our history.
It's pretty dark. Yeah. It's pretty dark. I'm just saying, we put our hands on our hips and look at the Germans like, listen, guys, and then we're like,
dicks.
I don't know. Not quite the same, not quite as organized, but I mean, there wasn't, I don't know, IBM wasn't making computers for the Andrew Jackson administration as opposed to the Third Reich, so who knows?
Shit wasn't in the air flying at the time that happened.
I'm just saying, we're not, not making any big statement here. We're just saying, hey, calm the fuck down when you look down on people. People do shit. We've done shitty shit, and everyone has, and, especially us, let's just say sometimes. So they were here, and that's what ended up happening. In 1791, the South Carolina legislature they made up this district that had Greenville, which is a city there, Anderson, Oconee, whatever the fuck that is, Oconee, and Pickens counties, all these different counties here. And the Washington, they called it the Washington district, and then they divided it up even further. But no one thought to make this a town, to incorporate it, to let's write it down.
Yeah.
What do you say? We'll write it down, we'll hand it to somebody, and we'll make sure we get like our own.
There are people here, we named it. Let's just fucking start paying taxes and get our own shit.
And wait till we get to the population. It's not like there's 12 people here either. Like, there's a good amount of people, enough people where you need to organize yourselves better than this. It's not good here. The name Anderson is in honor of Robert Anderson, who was a Revolutionary War soldier, and he explored this region in the mid 18th century. And there's mountains, there's lakes and tributaries and little rivers and water.
Are we doing river talk?
It's river talk. River talk with James and Jimmie. We're gonna do lake talk today.
All right.
Tributary talk.
Got it.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. So this is kind of a wilderness area. This is an area where people hunt and do shit like that and farm, as we'll talk about here. So in 1851, the Johnson Female Seminary, which sounds disgusting.
It does.
That I know it's not, but it's
the root word is semen.
That's what I mean. Johnson Female Seminary. I feel like whoever Johnson is, he is putting his jizz all over these people, and I don't like it. His 1851 jizz too, which is even grosser for some reason. Ghost jizz is what that is.
That seems stickier and
it's just
thicker.
nasty. Yeah, it's not going to be good. They're eating too much syrup.
Less water.
We know that. It's not great. I don't know if that has anything to do with it at all, but
I don't think it was common knowledge back then that you needed 8 glasses of water a day. You know what I mean?
No,
so
definitely not.
You got to imagine that shit's concrete.
That's probably, it's just coming out in a block. And just a block falls out and breaks on the floor. So
plaster Paris.
It's what it is. Yeah, it falls out, it breaks. It's like a piece of your like if you had a paper mache mask on. Oh shit, the nose fell off. It's like that.
That's what they make tire imprints out of.
Yeah, it works exactly. One of those, like they bring into court. So this town, the college, Johnson Female Seminary, the grossest college of the South, was named after William Johnson. I don't know who that is, but yeah, they named it after a guy. And during the Civil War, Johnson University was closed and converted into one of the Confederate treasuries.
Of course.
So yeah, they were like, them ladies don't need no school.
No.
We don't. No.
Get them out from underneath that roof. We need to keep the bullets dry.
We're going to count our fake money in here that we made up and is worth nothing. We made it up. We put his picture on it. I don't know. We just decided he was our leader now. So, but we're going to keep it all in this building. Y'all learning you can take somewhere else.
Yeah.
Into a field. Watch out for cannonballs and shit like that, though. It's dangerous. So, after the war, there was a Union garrison stationed here also. So this was like occupied territory after the war.
Yeah.
Now, Anderson became one of the first cities in the Southeast to have electricity.
Oh.
It was a big deal. They called it Electric City. It was their claim to fame for like 3 months until everyone else got electricity. Right. And then it was like, we're the electric place. Like, I have electricity in my fucking house, dude. And it's somewhere why would I come here?
Right.
We all have it now. What are you talking? That'd be like now, like, we're the city of flushing toilets. Okay. Good for you.
Good for you, sir. They got those in fucking Haiti.
McDonald's has a flushing toilet I can use. It's not, you don't even have to pay anything. It's perfect. So yeah, it was William Whitner here established electricity in this town in 1895. It was an hydroelectric plant on the Rocky River. Yeah. River Talk.
Hell yeah.
River Talk with James and Jimmie.
My favorite.
We all going to talk about rivers now. What's your favorite river? No, I'm partial to the Missouri. That's true. I
really like that snake. I think it's fed from the Missouri.
It is true. I'm sure it is. It's a tributary from the Missouri. It feeds on into the Gulf of, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
It goes through Idaho.
But it goes on through Idaho.
Probably down into Utah.
Up into the northwest. Yeah. I feel like British Columbia. It pops out like a river penis.
Like a snake.
And delivers its paper mache, plaster of Paris jizz onto the ocean. That's how it works.
So disgusting.
Thank you. This has been River Talk. Join us again next week. Now, it was given the name the Electric City. And this was also the first city in the world to supply a cotton gin by electricity. So they had an electric cotton gin here. They're like, we will make cotton goddamn faster than anybody. We don't, you know what? Actually, we thought we'd need less black people. But now we need twice as many because it's going faster is how it works here. Luckily, it was 1895, though, and, that was not mandatory anyway. So in 1895, they were started renaming a bunch of shit. 1897, they upgraded the power plant to have a big generating station there and all that sort of shit here, and it became a big deal. Portman Shoals became the first hydroelectric plant in the U.S. to generate high voltage without step-up transformers.
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but I copied that down because I thought you probably knew what that means because of your
so
actual work.
Transformers were when they bring the power in at a certain level of voltage and they step it up to a higher one.
It's like an amp.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like an amp for a mic if you have like a portable podcast recording setup.
So they've got step down transformers too that take it from the power plant down to a substation down to lower to get it to your house so that it's usable.
So so you don't have lightning bolts shooting out of your walls.
Right.
It's probably for the best.
Right. Blow your kid across.
Kids, get away from the walls.
Somebody plug that fan in. It got me last time.
Jesus, there's a lot of outlets in here. Can we cover these up maybe? There's just, it's dangerous. Well, thank you. Now we know what that is.
There you go.
So, then the Portman Dam was swept away in 1901.
Well, how about that?
So, gone down the river, and it forced Anderson to be in total darkness until 1902 when it was rebuilt. So
that's a long time.
The plant's gone. It's just gone. The dam, it's gone, and it wiped out all the...
They put the entire plant on the dam.
I guess we sit here.
Somebody fix that, would you?
People, sounds of whittling in the background. You're like,
waiting on somebody to fix that.
Pray tell, when is someone going to fix the dam and get the electricity back?
I can't believe they put the plant on the dam.
Not sure.
That's hysterical.
A lot of people went, all right.
Well, that's that.
That's it right there. Jesus
Fun
Christ.
while it lasted.
Woohoo! So, in 1911, Anderson College was established by the Anderson Chamber of Commerce, and this was a successor to the Johnson Female Seminary there, and is affiliated with the South Carolina Baptist Convention, which is so.
That sounds so bleak.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
That sounds very bleak. That is John Lithgow from Footloose yelling at people.
Very
for
little
having
smiling.
Fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, very little violence. A lot of threats though.
Yeah.
A lot of threats. A lot of eternal threats too.
If you don't, or if you don't, God gonna.
Right. And it's I'ma beat you, and then God's gonna.
Do worse.
So it's going to be immediate physical retribution followed by eternal retribution of your soul or to your soul. So, Anderson College became a co-ed college in 1930. And in 2006, they said, that sounds Anderson College. Like, what's Anderson University sounds better. They changed the name, which it does here. Now, I found a little, like a thing from the 1925, 1926, just giving you the state of Anderson at this point. And it's like an assessment of the town that they wrote up. And it says, the schools of the county are in excellent condition and are efficiently and economically administered. The number of accredited high schools is 12. This is in the county. In 1925 and 6, the public school enrollment was 14,838 white children and 6,395 colored.
Oh,
Jesus
boy.
Christ. That was right on the paper. Actually, the fucked up part is in 25, 26, that was like progressive language.
Yeah.
Like that was progressive.
At least they didn't use that other word.
That's what I mean. That was actually considered fucking Christ. I mean, Archie Bunker still said that on TV in the 70s.
Right.
It was, so that was 50 years before that. They said, the Anderson College, an institution for white women under control of the Baptist denomination, is in the city of Anderson. As if it was called Johnson's Female Seminary wasn't bad enough, an institution for white women under the control of the Baptist denomination.
I think the three words under the control are the worst part of
Jesus Christ, man.
All of it sucks.
I get that that's the funding and shit like that is technically under control, but it sounds
horrific.
Sounds really bad.
Jesus.
Ladies, stay away from the seminary, please. It says Anderson County has many large factories for the production of textiles, the experimental stage in such manufacturing having long ago passed. The supply of water-generated electrical power for projects is ample and cheap, and the cost of living is comparatively low. They talk about how there's cotton and small grain and foraging crops and vegetables and cattle and all sorts of shit here. They said 8 carloads of poultry being shipped from the county during the fall and winter of 25-26. They measured their poultry in carloads. What kind of car are we talking here? Is it stuffed in the back seat? Does it have a trunk?
Does this car have to hold a certain number of crates or pallets?
I don't know what it has to do to qualify.
What's your measurement for what is the product? Say the product again.
Poultry.
Okay,
just
okay.
General poultry of any
chicken parts.
I don't know.
Well, I guess birds,
whole, dead,
right?
alive. I don't know who the fuck knows. It's just stuck in there.
That's fascinating.
Jim Rice is from here, the Boston Red Sox hitter, who's fucking really good power hitter there. I think he finally got in the Hall of Fame, as a matter of fact. Jim Rice, he's a badass. He should have been in a long time ago, but he was kind of gruff to the press, so they didn't do him any favors. And Larry Nance, the sportscaster guy.
Most feminine-looking big man ever.
Yeah, he is.
Next to Brad Daugherty.
He's next to Brad Daugherty. Yeah, Brad Daugherty's a fine-looking gentleman.
He's a fine-looking woman.
He is. He's from here, too.
Brad Daugherty is?
Yeah, no, Larry Nance.
Larry Nance.
Now, how would I imagine? Do you think I'd be a little more shocked if you pulled Brad Daugherty out of your ass and he happened to be the other person from here? I was like, yeah, good call. He's from here too. Moving on. I'd have been like, how the hell did you know Brad Daugherty was from here? That's insane.
And they wound up on the same team? That's crazy.
Shit, this is crazy. Wow. Now, a couple of years ago, a 14-year-old did a school shooting in Townville that killed a first grader. Killed his father and a first grader, and it could have been much worse. He wrote in his diary beforehand, or he wrote somewhere, quote, I think I'll probably most likely kill 50 or 60. If I get lucky, maybe 150.
What a shitbag.
Yeah, he just turned 14, this kid, at the time. It was pretty fucking crazy. But we're not going to talk about that, obviously. That's no fun. You notice we never do school shootings on this show, because what fun is that? And then he walked in and, oh my God, little Susie was diving under the, there's nothing we can make a joke about with that. So we have our limits.
A 14-year-old did that.
14, just turned 14.
And that is horrible to think.
Just turned 14.
I've really got to hug him more.
Yeah. That's, I would say. Well, just pause Call of Duty for a second.
Yeah.
To hug.
Hey, turn that shit off for a
now
second.
hug. Okay, now
guess who loves you?
And now you can go back to killing
now
people.
Kill.
Yeah, go kill.
Go get him, son.
This place leads the nation in respiratory infections, and it's also awful for migraine headaches. It's in the top 10 places of horrible respiratory infection cities are Nashville, Birmingham, Alabama, Oklahoma City, Greensboro, North Carolina, this area that are not Greensboro, we'll talk about that, and here, Little Rock, Arkansas, Dallas, Texas, Dayton, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Sounds like our tour is the worst respiratory infection. And this is also a top city for migraine headaches. So,
Jesus.
Wonderful place to live, I would say.
Every year I get a respiratory infection when we're on the road, too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Someone's going to disease us. So, people here, population 4,177 right now. So, get your shit together and incorporate something.
That's a healthy amount of people.
That's enough. Yeah. It's up 62% since 1990. Wow. So people have fled here, I guess. Median age 47.8, which is 10 years older than normal, and there are a lot of old people here. We'll talk about here. All these 60 years old and above demographics are way high, except for above 85. That Southern diet will kill your ass. You're not making it that long.
They know that respiratory diseases will fucking wipe out an old person, right?
Yeah, well, I guess they probably moved from the city to there because it's, I guess, maybe a cheaper cost of living, but we'll talk about that. All the children demos are low. Everybody under 18, all the demographics are low. More female than male, which you get with the older populations, as we know. Married population's higher because it's older people, obviously, so that makes a lot of sense. Little more widow people, again, makes a lot of sense. Everything else is pretty close to normal here. Racially, though, it's a little out of whack. White normally is about 62%. Here it is 96% white.
Whoa.
It is a little white South Carolina town.
Should we even talk about what the rest is?
Pretty white. Well, 1.84% black, so not even 2% in South Carolina. So that sounds on purpose almost. Anytime in the South there's less than 2% black people, I go, that sounds on purpose.
That's fucking fascinating.
There's plenty of black people around to be around, you know, like
Charleston's right there.
They're just not there. Yeah, Greenville and whatever. You're an hour and a half from Atlanta, we said. So I mean,
fucking Outcast is there.
There's not that many Outcast members to make the population swell. You know, they got Outcasts, so it's double the black population right there.
I think T.I. is from there.
Whatever city they move to, it becomes a very 0.0% Asian. Which isn't surprising. And 0.14% Hispanic.
Okay.
So there is just, I don't know, that's nobody. Living in Phoenix, it's amazing. I can't imagine zero Hispanic people at all. It's just strange.
You telling me they don't have a Filiberto's? That is
no.
Oh my God, that place. That's a restaurant
here. It's a restaurant here. It's fast food,
and it
Mexican food.
Amazing.
It's delicious.
It will ruin you for
so
like
good.
36 hours.
Oh, you're gonna die.
But it's amazing.
I'm pretty sure
it's a front for the Mexican mafia because that place never has anybody in there, and they're expanding. You know what I mean? Like, there's never anybody sitting down eating in there. You walk in and it's fucking dead ass empty.
There's like those weird, different flavor drinks, brightly colored, fountaining all the time, bubbling and fountaining. I don't know. There's like an off-color green one too. I don't know what the hell that is. There's one that's the color of the shit my grandfather had his barber combs in when he was in a barber shop. So, 66% of the people here are religious. So that is frightening for me. That's a lot. 45% Baptist. Holy shit, that's some fire and brimstone. Because Baptists are, as we know, the Catholics of the South, obviously. The Mormons of the East. However you want to say it. Really, the rest of it doesn't matter. It's just Baptist as fuck. 0.0% Jewish. No thank you. We're good. And 0.0% Muslim here. So there's no black people. There's no Muslims. There's no Hispanic people. It's just white Baptist people in this town. So the voting, I'll give you a guess politically.
I'm guessing very independent.
Just all very liberal Democrat here. This Kamala Harris is polling the strongest in this county of anywhere else in the...
Cory Booker's killing it.
It's actually 26% of the people voted Democrat in the last election, 70% Republican. So it's a rural older white town. Economy here, it's about normal unemployment rate. Everything there is normal. Median household income is $54,000, which is 57.5 is normal. So that's average. So it's pretty close. Occupation here, a lot of manufacturing, twice as many manufacturing jobs as normal as an average town does. A little less in terms of kind of the white collar jobs, but there is a college nearby, so there's some little more education services, working at a college type job. So professors to janitors to whoever. Cost of living here, 100 being regular, average, par. Cost of living here is 106. So pretty close. The thing that's highest is housing. Unfortunately, it's at 121. So median home cost here is $233,800.
Holy shit.
Seems a little steep to live in rural South Carolina. I don't know. Like, it's not by the beach, or there's a lot of lakes though. That's the thing. These lake houses drive the median price up.
Yes.
Some of these lake houses are obscenely expensive here. So a lot of houses in the 200 to 300,000 range, and they really go up and down the spectrum. There's 10% of the houses are worth less than $20,000. So there's shit trailers and there's $1 million lake houses in the same little town.
That's fun.
It's that type of thing here. It's probably kind of a railroad track scenario or maybe a stream separates them. I'm not sure. But if we've convinced you, a crick, a holler. So if we've convinced you to find out what the hell separates the nice places from the shitty ones, we have for you the Townville, South Carolina Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $880, which is a $400 below the national average. So renting seems to be the cheaper option, but I think a lot of the rental places are shitty. That's why. So you never know. There's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house here, 1,500 square foot. It sits back in some trees, got a big yard, quiet. Nice place, nice little family house. $192,900.
Okay.
So, in the manageable,
you can do it.
Not crazy. Yeah, it's nothing that's like, oh my God, you have to be super wealthy or whatever. It's an average home, less than the national average. I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,800 square foot. It's a new construction. So this one doesn't have kind of the other one's older. It's probably, 40 years old. This one is a brand new construction. So it's shiny and new. Not a lot of grown in trees. Kind of doesn't, minus the charm, but it's brand new. $329,000 though. Then I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,765 square foot house on the lake here, on one of the lakes, for $535,000. It's a nice fucking house. It's really nice, but also pretty goddamn expensive. So things to do here, holy shit, not a lot of things to do, Jimmy. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I was looking up things to do, Townville festivals, Townville parades, Townville this, that. So finally I looked up Townville, South Carolina party to see if they had an annual sock party where they all come and dressed in their socks and dress their fucking dogs up like debutantes in Southern literature or some shit. How the hell? Who the fuck knows? What comes up is a big thing on Google on the side. How it'll have the links, and then on the side it'll have this is your main thing. Is the Dollar General.
That's the thing to do?
That's the party. Not the thing to do. That's the party. Because you can get party supplies at the Dollar General. That's what I assume is what the connection is there.
Please throw an annual one. We've got a place for supplies for it.
General. That's party time. Yes. I'm going to go down there, which, by the way, has 4.1 stars. So they're enjoying the Dollar General in Townville. It also says there are 50 assisted living facilities near Townville.
Now you know why there's no party.
Which is, it's all old people, which is also, by the way, on the first page of... Of party. So I looked hard, Jimmy, hard and wide and far and deep and everything, man. And I found Townville Volunteer Fire Department's Spring Festival. I found it. It's in April 2020. It's at the Townville Elementary School. Annual fundraiser. They have a barbecue and food, lots of crafts, hundreds of cars and trucks. They don't say they're classic cars.
Just cars.
Cars and trucks. We have everybody park in one spot. You can look at all of them. They're all a parking lot.
There's a Pulsar in there, but it's a car.
It's fine. There's a Pontiac Grand Am from 1994, but that's great. It's fine. It's great. You're gonna like
old hatchback Escorts, but it's a fucking car.
The CRXs with the My mother wrapped around a tree with me in it one time.
How the hell did she get that little thing all the way around the tree?
It was a small tree. Very small tree. I actually rolled it over 6 times, too. Seriously.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That thing was a mess. It was a pancake. So anyway, yeah, that's... every mall could claim that.
Yeah.
Stores, food court, hundreds of cars and trucks.
Have the gander at our parking lot.
Yep, and tractors also. And it just says on display. It doesn't say anything about what they are.
They're collector's items or anything?
New and old fire trucks to look at. The kids like fire trucks. A tractor being raffled off.
Oh, you can get one for free.
You're going to raffle off a tractor. They're going to wet your palate a little bit with that, the display.
Did you see all those? Now you have one too.
Oh, yeah. A kids area with games, blow-ups. That's boy. It's kids area with games, blow-ups, face painting, and tractor barrel rolling.
Okay.
I don't know what goes on with tractor. I know what a barrel roll is, but I don't know what tractor barrel rolling is.
You probably push it. Right?
I have for children. It's for children. So assume the safest thing you could imagine. And then it's the South, so there's probably a gun involved somewhere. You do this, then you shoot a gun, and then another kid dodges it.
Then you fuck a blow-up doll's face.
Maybe. That could be anywhere, though, Jimmy. That's not...
It said it's got blow-ups.
It's got blow-ups. So, also the Great Anderson County Fair. Which I looked up, and it's great, and it just seems to be a shitload of animals. There's a lot of animals and pigs of all kinds. I did see a seal in there. I don't know why they would have a seal in a landlocked county fair in the South. It has nothing to do with seals, but whatever, fuck it. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here, the crime, the nitty-gritty. Property crime is slightly high, but pretty much at average, and violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is right at average. So these old people are not fucking around. No. I don't know with these. I always think that, like with the old people, is it that people prey on the old people, and that's why? Or the old people.
Oh, boy.
Old people do shit to each other.
Shit, yeah.
Old people are horrible to each other. Talk to people who work at, like, retirement homes. They'll tell you awful things that old people do to each other. They're terrible. They're constantly fucking each other. They're always sexually assaulting each other. It's horrible, man.
The guys' dicks are always out, and the women are always talking about get me a man. It's like there's men all over this place, and their dicks are out.
But none of them even know their dicks are out. Right. That's the problem. And no matter what they do, they can go, huh? What are you talking about? I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. You can play dementia. That's why I'm in a home, stupid. You gonna go to court and put him in prison, huh? What happened? What? I don't know. Where am I? I go home now.
I heard I did that at a Chuck E. Cheese too.
Is it my dinner time? Like they're just gonna be like, we'll put him back in the home. It's the same thing. We're not taking care of his old ass in there. What are you talking about? Right. It's fucked up. If you're an old woman, you got to be on guard, man.
What are we going to put him in jail? A dude on a drug charge will be like, "Why's your dick out?"
Why's your dick out? Well, plus they have to take care of this old person in jail. They'd be like, he's already in somewhere where they could take care of him. Jesus Christ, I don't know. Keep his fucking room locked and his dick away. I don't know what to tell you. So let's talk about a murder.
Yes,
I think it's time.
All right,
it's so time.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your
all different.
Multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah. Stay
focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Let's do this. Let's go back to 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kind of go back here.
A little time travel.
You know.
I was a young man.
You're a young man.
16 years old. About to be robbed at gunpoint.
We're trying to think here. No Doubt is annoying the world with their constant whining.
Crushing.
Sugar Ray's they're just about to start crushing.
Yeah.
This is that time. Ace of Base is ripping it up. I don't know.
I think that was like 93.
That was like 93, 94. But that was the shittiest thing I could think of.
But I think they were still getting residual checks.
Oh, God, yeah.
Today it's probably dried up.
I'm still listening to Alanis Morissette whine and complain about everything. Yeah, this was quite the time, 97 here. 1997, November 19th, 1997. Early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, the Seneca Police Department. This is a nearby town, Seneca, South Carolina. This is a rural area, as we've talked about. All these little towns. That doesn't sound like you look at it like some sort of cop show where it's like an LAPD detective room and there's phones ringing and typewriters typing going and like people coming in and out and Sergeant, I need to talk to you. None of that. It's there's a guy.
You're on this case now. Right.
Yeah, there's one cop who's like walking around doing stuff, and then whoever's in charge has his feet up on his desk, and he's got a pastry of some kind, and a cup of coffee.
That it's not filled.
He's reading the paper, and he's complaining that they're zoning that for a laundromat. For Christ's sake, Jesus, that was where my daddy used to get his prostitutes, or whatever. I don't know what he's complaining about. So
something that was important to his childhood.
Very important to his childhood. So it's 8 in the morning, and a man walks in. Warren Burkhart walks in.
Okay.
He's an older guy. He's in his 50s, early 60s here. He walks in the morning here and asks to see the chief of police of the town. Chief Lee is his name. So I got to see Chief Lee right now, which it's a very small town. You can just walk in at 8 in the morning, demand to see the chief of police, and they're like, 1 moment, please.
Right.
It's Phoenix. Go down to the police department, walk in at 8 in the morning, and demand to see the chief of police, and they'll be like, "Who the fuck? Get the fuck out of here!"
And you got to go to a different floor for that. Like this guy walked in and said it, and then the chief walked out and went, "Somebody call me."
Basically, they said, "You want to see the chief? Chief, chief."
This guy.
I looked. He's in the shitter. Otherwise, you'd see him. He's usually right behind me, but he must be shitting. He's been drinking coffee, and that cheese Danish affects him hard. So 8 in the morning.
Don't tell that guy over there he took the last cream filter.
Oh, he's going to be so pissed when he gets out. Oh, my God. It's going to be, he made some room, he was saying. He was making some room for for that cream for that Long John. And now, boy. So it's 8 a.m. This guy, Warren Burkhart, walks in alone, demanding to speak to Chief Lee, who Chief Lee, he knows. That's why he's demanding to speak to him, because Chief Lee has been a customer at their family's restaurant in Oconee, Oconee, whatever the fuck it is, county.
Oconee.
There
too.
you go, that one. So he knows the chief of police. So he's like, let me see Lee here. Bring him out and then make him visible. So Warren Burkhart tells Lee once he comes out that, okay, here's the story. Listen, I know it's 8 a.m. Haven't seen you. Thanks for coming in last week. Your grandkids are getting so big. No, I know. Yeah, it's good that we keep the fresh. We like fresh seasonal vegetables. We really feel like it makes a difference in the overall restaurant experience. But put that aside for 1 second. There's a pressing matter we got to get to. My son killed 3 people.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're going to have to talk. We'll get, there's some, don't worry. The fall menu's coming out soon. It's fine. But he's killed 3 people. So let's get to that first.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
The chief kind of, sits up in his chair.
Again?
Spills coffee. Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel like he had his chair reclined. He came forward and the coffee. Oh, Jesus. Goddamn son of a bitch.
Did you say 3?
3 people. God, pray tell.
I only got 2 body bags.
What? That's more than we can call the county, goddammit. The fuck, Jesus Christ, the morgue can't handle.
We've only got 2 ice boxes for bodies.
The hell are we supposed to do? The body count is just stacking. Oh, now I know what it feels like to be in war. Yes, he put an H in war,
in
even
the big city.
In whore in the big city. So he tells him my kid killed 3 people over in Anderson County. This is a problem. So he says, tell you what I'll do, because obviously, this has nothing to do with me. I'm just the dad here. I'll go get him. He's in the car. So you probably want to talk to him, I assume, by now.
He brought him too.
It's not like he was like. He's not like he walked in, just letting you know, have a good one.
Right.
So fishing tomorrow or whatever, like that's not what happened. He said like, I got him in the car.
This is a great show and tell.
You got a murderer? Yeah. So I got a murderer. I don't know.
What'd you bring? I brought my Teddy Ruxpin. What'd you bring? I brought a murderer, and he happens to be my son, and he's killed more people than anybody you know.
My Teddy Ruxpin has the Guns N' Roses tape in it.
And it sounds awesome.
It's funny when he does Sweet Child of Mine. He looks super dramatic. Okay. Tell you what, you bring yours.
Right.
You bring yours in, and will you put Teddy down, God damn it. Listen. Goddamn.
He brought a murderer
goddamn
to the
detective.
police station.
I told him not to bring that Teddy Ruxpin. Fucking embarrassing me, goddamn deputies.
Okay.
So he brings him.
So he brings him inside.
So he says while they were talking, so he goes outside and he brings in his son. His son comes in, and his son's got his wife with him also, his wife Michelle.
Okay.
He brings in the happy couple. Yeah. Hi. Hey, Chief. How you doing? Oh, yeah, a little problem this morning.
Yeah.
So the chief said they're talking, and while they were talking, the son turns to his father, Warren, and tells him that he says, listen, Dad, my uncle's behind this whole thing. He's behind everything. Okay. That's what he tells his dad at this point. But he doesn't say that to the police. He just tells like it's an aside to his dad in the middle of a conversation. Okay. So he comes in. By the way, too, he is covered in blood at this point in time.
This is new.
This just
happened.
Son is covered in fucking blood.
Yeah.
He's got blood all over his shirt.
Somebody else did it.
Not me. I was really close, though, and it's just enough to get a lot of blood on me.
I clearly saw it.
I know what happened. Put it that way. I know what had happened. So he comes in and he tells the son says, look, it was self-defense. Mm-hmm. Like, I killed all 3 of these people in self-defense, which, that's a possibility.
Okay.
And he tells them, I'll show you where they are right now. They're dead in a field. They are in a distant field here, which is a kudzu field. You know what this is?
No.
Kudzu, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong.
That's kudzu, I think.
Kudzu, it's a Japanese root type thing.
Got it.
That's an invasive root, but they use it helps keep from soil from eroding.
Oh.
It's good for like the Dust Bowl. They could have used a shitload of this.
Yeah.
They brought it over to America in like 1936 and introduced it there. Like, hey, look at that. Your shit doesn't have to be the Dust Bowl anymore.
There you go.
It's good for animal grazing. They use it for making baskets and shit, and like the Asian people use it for teas.
Okay.
Also. So it's a field of this shit. It's a very low, it's like a low to the ground vegetation.
Okay.
So it's a field of green stuff.
It's like grass.
Yeah, but it's a little high. Yeah, I guess it would be like high grass, but it's like thicker because it's leafy and viney and shit like that. Okay. So it's not like, it's all viney.
Interesting.
So it's a field of this shit is where he brings them. And they find here the bodies of Shane and Stacy Walters, who are brothers. They are 27 and 22 years old. They're brothers. They live together. And Sonia Khan, who is age 21 years old, and she's also with them. She does not live with them or anything like that. They don't know what the relation is between her.
Apart from probably
friendship or something like that. No, they're not. They don't run a business together. They're not related in any way. She's not romantically linked to any of these people. Whatever. So, now Warren Burkhart, his son, his truck that he was driving was recovered from Warren Burkhart's house. Apparently the kid drove to his father's house and said, I just killed 3 people. And he said, well, we'll take it down to Chief Lee and we'll sort this all out. And did that sort of thing. The interior of the truck is covered in blood. Like a fucking horror movie. I've seen the pictures. It is.
Pop's driving with like 2 fingers?
And this is back at his house. They take the police. Here's the body. Here's my truck. He's taking them. Here's the evidence. Look at what happened. Truck looks like a massacre horror movie scene.
Like it all happened in there.
Like overkill. Like if you saw it in a horror movie, that was the scene. You'd be like, okay, they could have went a little easier with the blood. This is stupid. It's that much blood and bullet holes too, all over the fucking place.
Oh my god!
All sorts of bullet holes and blood. It looks like Sonny Corleone drove up to the toll booth in this fucking truck in Godfather and they sprayed him down. That's what it looks like here.
Okay.
So the evidence here indicates that all 3 of these people were shot in the head at close range and while in the cab of the truck. And then after that, their bodies have been dragged from the truck onto the ground. Okay. So they can tell by where they hit. There's no blood and then here's some and then some dragging.
Okay.
So you can see where they did it.
Are there 3 gunshots?
Multiple.
Yeah,
they've all been shot, but they have more gunshots than just the ones in the head, too. Then we'll talk about that.
It was like a Deadpool moment where you got 3 with 1.
Yeah, everybody line up.
Yeah.
Everybody line up perfectly. Line up perfectly. I've been working these bullets.
Yeah.
I made them in my laboratory.
Super straight.
They go through 3 heads. It's amazing. Oswald could have really used this fucking thing. I'll put it that way. It would have ended all speculation. So, they say that the shot in the head and dragged out of the truck. The state here, the whole police department, they also find evidence that Stacy and Shane, the brothers, had been stomped on by feet, stomped on while they were on the ground, and also that Sonia was shot in the head while lying on the ground.
Okay.
So the headshot for her, at least one of her headshots came on the ground, and that Stacy and Shane had been kicked and stomped on the ground also. Okay. So if you've already shot people and they're on the ground, the stomping seems pretty unnecessary at that point. But Shane Walters, we'll find out why. Shane Walters had been shot 6 times.
Oh, boy.
It's a lot of shooting to then stomp someone, including the fatal gunshot, which was to the back of the head.
Somebody doesn't like that guy.
Somebody's a little upset with Shane. Yeah. And Stacy, his brother, was shot in the right temple and right cheek, both of which were fatal shots, they said. So either way, he was done. And so this is what he was stomping, completely dead people. And Sonia Khan was shot 3 times, including 1 shot through the right temple and 1 in her left eye.
Oh, fuck.
So she was shot probably, they think, once in the trunk, the truck in the head, and then one of the shots was
that's
on the ground.
Man.
So, yeah. And this is a 21-year-old 21-year-old woman. That's ridiculous. That seems excessive, is what I'm getting at. Now, they feel like from the evidence that only 1 weapon was used, and it was his pistol, which was a .45. It was a semi-automatic .45 that holds 8 rounds, 7 in the clip and 1 in the chamber. And they found 2 empty clips at the scene, 2 empty magazines, indicating that he shot and reloaded. So that's an odd self-defense scenario.
Right.
From the evidence base, the way it's laid out, you go, okay, they're shot. 1 was shot on the ground. These people were stomped. Reloading situation.
It's really taking it out on him.
In his truck. Yeah. It's very wow, this is...
For a guy getting jumped, he really had to...
Yeah.
He really had some firepower.
Yeah. And
he's fast, too, because if they're swinging at him and he's got time to reload, my word, he's quick.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, is like it'd be hard to say self-defense if someone's out of your truck, if they're shot and then you get them out of your truck, you drive away. You don't then get out and stomp them and finish them off with headshots.
And you generally only shoot one because everybody else is going to be like, he's fucking serious.
If you blast off, if you're in an enclosed truck cab, it's an extended cab Dodge Ram. Okay. If you're in a Dodge Ram, like Josh's truck, if you're in a Dodge Ram, it's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
If you,
there's nobody in the story.
Nobody in the story named Josh. It's a person we know. I'm trying to that Ram. If you're in an extended cab of a pickup truck and someone lets off one shot of a 45,
it's loud.
You will remember that forever. Yeah. You don't need anything else to happen because you'll see that it's so fucking loud. Your eyes won't work right. That's how fucking loud that shit will be.
Yeah.
It's loud. So, and it's early morning. This ended up happening in November, so it's dark also. So the flash and the fucking shot, it would have disoriented everybody involved in this whole thing. And we'll find out what led up to it too. They were all pretty disoriented to begin with.
Oh boy.
As we'll talk about here. So, the experts here estimated that it was probably 11 shots that were fired from different bullet holes and in the truck and wounds in people. They found Shane's unloaded hunting rifle under the truck's back seat. And this is not his truck, Shane. This is, like we said, Warren Burkhart's son, who we'll talk about in a second here. It was beneath a large speaker. So it was under there, like one of the speaker boxes. Yeah. And in Sonia's purse were 2 unopened pocket knives, and Shane had a pocket knife, an unopened, like a folding pocket knife in his pants pocket.
Got it.
So those are the only weapons these people have. So if they're claiming self-defense, if he's claiming self-defense, these are the weapons that these people had. An unloaded rifle that didn't have any bullets to it.
And a couple of pocket knives.
And a couple of pocket knives that people carry around, especially if you live in rural South Carolina. I feel like you have maybe a need for a pocket knife now and then. When the power goes out from the dam collapsing,
you got to put it back together.
How are you going to find your knife to whittle? That's my point. And how you going to put it? That's an even better point.
I've got a Swiss Army.
I mean, damn. The beavers can't do.
It's got a bench. We can put it back together.
The beavers can't do everything. I mean, they're good, but we can't depend on them for everything. I can carve too and make them little things. So, now who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
This is his Warren Burkhart's son is Troy Allen Burkhart. Okay. Let's talk about this fucking idiot for a second. Troy Allen Burkhart. He was born it just goes by Troy, the Allen parts, just for legal purposes. He is born in June of 1967. So at this point in time, he's 30 years old. 1997, 1984. I did some research on him, as I tend to do. Tend to go find some shit on people if they don't have a lot of background info. I'll fucking find it myself. So I found a newspaper clipping from 1984 when he's 17 years old. In a Greenville newspaper, there's a big spread about how teen fashions are changing, and he is featured in. It's basically there's a picture of like an ad, like a clothing store ad with teenagers in these clothes, and it's an article about how the fashions are changing, and he is one of the models in the ad. This Troy Burkhart guy. So he's one of the models. He's 17 years old, and he's like on this bicycle with this chick behind him. He's looking very 80s. And I would never jump out of this, but we really have to talk about what they're talking about for just a second. A 1984 fashion article for teens. They said most new clothing for all ages come in electric colors like jade, turquoise green, fuchsia, coppin, royal, which is a royal blue, and salmon. These colors will dominate school and party wear, especially for girls. More colors, more fun. That's the key. MTV has had a heavy influence, just like any other popular television show, if they promote a character appealing to children. Girls are going to be wearing shorter fashion tops with asymmetrical necklines, cowl necks, and side buttons. I don't know what any of that shit is. Ankle-length pants. That's what pants are. What fucking length should they be? Ankle-length pants.
That's a good point.
That's like saying a head-covering hat. It's a fucking hat. That's what it is.
A chest shawl.
I guess.
That's a shirt.
And pants that narrow as the leg reaches the ankle will also be in well into the spring. And they also said that, this is funny, the conservative and preppy look is still strong also. They're talking about how Jesus Christ, a very heavy influence from Michael Jackson on this year's fashion, with lots of tons of zippers on the jackets and all that sort of thing. And that's what he looks like here. Here's a quote here. Khaki duckhead type pants are a must. And button downs with sleeves rolled up. We don't even carry short sleeve shirts for bigger boys. I don't know what any of this shit means, but I thought it was funny.
Duckhead's a brand. Those are nice pants. Yeah.
Duckhead type pants. Okay, so she's saying pants like that. Knockoff ones at our store that are cheaper.
Right.
That's what she said, because it's some store lady that's discussing this and how the fashion. Tell us about the fashions.
If that's the way the 80s are described, you can sum it up with stupid.
That's terrible.
Fucking dumb.
That's why when you watch anything from the 80s, you go, wow, everyone's dressed crazy, because that's what people were saying. This is what's in right now. Isn't it wonderful?
Colors.
Woo.
Fucking colors.
Colors. So April 1992 here. So Troy is 25 at this point. He's arrested as modeling days are over.
Yeah.
When you see him later on, you're like, that guy was a fucking model. And then when you see him as a kid, you're like, well, I guess he was a handsome-ish kid. He's a tall guy, too. That's the other thing. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Height helps in modeling.
I don't know. I aspire to be called handsome-ish.
Yeah, I think he was.
That would be wonderful.
Not now, though. Not now. It's all gone to shit.
Yeah.
But you can see his face is the same face of his, later photos.
Some shape to it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's
similar.
his nose,
Yeah.
that's his eyes, it's that sort of thing. So he's arrested in April of 1992 for grand larceny of a motor vehicle in Seneca. Mm-hmm. So, he's 25, he gets arrested. It's too old to be arrested for stealing a car.
Yeah.
You're not joyriding, you're not 15.
Yeah.
You should own a car and have a job and be paying for it and have no time to steal anyone else's because you're so tired from working. That should be when you're 25.
That's that's
going
what it
to
is.
school
You shouldn't
or
have
something.
a criminal record at 25. Well, you could have one, but not an active one.
You shouldn't be getting arrested
It should be
at
done by now because you're exhausted from your day and job.
25 is when you're hustling. 25 is when you're working for shit money, trying to get something else, so you're working more hours than you're getting credit for and paid for, and you can be going to school at the same time, and you're trying to still have a social life because you still think, hey, I can still act like I'm 19, so you're still trying to drink at night, and then you're getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going to work. 25 is a fucking brutal age. Who has time for grand larceny of a motor vehicle at that moment? Christ, man. So this is around the same time that he gets in a relationship. He finds a girl named Michelle. She's a local girl who grew up knowing his sister. I think she was in the same grade as his sister, as Troy's sister, and so he knew her kind of that way, and his sister knew her since she was 15. They get engaged pretty quickly. They're engaged for about a year, and then they get married in about early 1993. They end up getting married, Michelle and Troy. So I guess that's getting your shit together. Was that one of the vows?
Close enough.
Yeah, maybe that was one of the vows. I won't steal any more cars because I'm married now. And this is another
speech. I quit.
Yeah, that's a very adult thing to do too.
Yeah.
Getting married. That you shouldn't be stealing cars, which is a teenage thing to do, unless you have like a chop shop or something, and then it's a business at that point. More power to you.
Not necessarily legal, but it's still a business.
it's still entrepreneurial anyway. I'll at least say I'll give you credit for entrepreneurial nature every fucking time, because some people, they don't have that nature.
It's true.
So 1995 now, Troy is arrested again at age 28 for disposing of property that's under lien. I don't know. There was some.
That's essentially insurance fraud.
It's kind of something like that. It's under lien, or maybe it was some sort of a property. Who the hell knows? Maybe he had a tractor that had a lien on it from the bank that nobody paid off, and he tried to fucking hide it, or who the hell knows? Yeah. But when they go to arrest him, he's also not having any of that, and he's arrested for resisting arrest as well. So disposing of possibly a tractor, who the fuck knows, and then resisting arrest of said tractor disposal is pretty embarrassing at age 28 years old. Now, Troy, here, as we've talked about, seems like an interesting character. Remember, he turned to his father and said, my uncle had everything to do with this, and he caused all this trouble.
Right.
What the fuck was he talking about? Who is his uncle? His uncle is a guy named Ronnie Burkhart. That is his father's brother, Warren, who brought him into the police station. That's his brother. Right. Warren and Ronnie hate each other. hate each other.
Why?
They're brothers. They have beef. We'll talk about this. They hate each other so much. They had like court battles over land things we'll talk about. They hated each other so much. One of the attorneys involved said that their relationship was so bad that they could not be left alone in the courtroom together without getting into a fist fight.
Wow.
If they're sitting there at different tables and no one's between them, they will attack each other, and they're like crows and owls. They'll just start there he is. They'll start fighting.
Awesome.
Like Peter and the Giant Chicken and Family Guy. Like that's what we have a situation going on here. They just see each other, squint, and start fighting.
That's
there
it comes.
Yeah, that's how bad they get in fist fights in court. Imagine two old men fist fighting in court. First of all, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
Number one, I would love to see two old men in a financial dispute stand up in a courtroom in front of a judge and start punching each other.
Judge.
Hold on. What happened? My dick's out? What? I don't remember. So, now, people said that Ronnie seemed determined to ruin Warren's life financially, and there were several lawsuits going on between the two of them, and that Troy's relatives referred to, I guess Ronnie was the guy that they all took Warren's side. Ronnie they all referred to as very vicious and an evil person, and we'll talk about too. Ronnie's got a real shady history of illegal things that we'll talk about. Now, 1997 rolls around when we're talking about, as we see, he's been married to this woman, Michelle.
Right.
He's had a couple of weird run-ins with the law, resisting arrest of tractor hiding, of what we're going to say. At this point in 1997, Troy owns a bar and runs this bar. It's called Traditions here. I don't know, whatever. And
is it spelled Troy Ditions?
Troy Ditions. It's not a gay bar, Jimmy. Troy Ditions sounds like the local rural South Carolina hotspot for some guy-on-guy action. So, Troy, he runs this place. Him and his wife basically operate it. It's a bar that, at night. And they also have a catering business that's near there also. So they're running a bar and a catering business, kind of doing all this shit.
Got it.
So they have some sort of, life that they're building.
Legitimate, yeah.
He's not like unemployed and she, works
business
as
owners.
They're business owners. I don't know how successful it is, but who cares? Yeah. It's not in business now. So, but I mean, we'll find out after this. I don't know how that could have survived.
Okay.
So, November 1997. How did this all fucking occur? How do these people know each other? How do they end up in a kudzu field at 8:00 in the morning with three of them dead with mad gunshots and a bloody man and his father?
Okay.
How did this shit happen? Well, Troy meets the Walters brothers here. Shane and Stacy meets them just a few days before this happened.
Really?
That week this happened. This is they've known each other a few days. A mutual friend of theirs, a guy named Paul Zastro, introduced Troy with the Walters brothers when they met. They were at, I guess, Troy was at Zastro's house, and the Walters guys stopped by. It was a chance. Hey, these are my buddies. These are the Walters. Blah blah blah.
Got it.
So that was a quick meeting. That was November 14th, 1997. So that was 5 days earlier. That's how they met. They went their separate ways. Nothing. How many people have you met like that?
Oh, God.
My friend's friend. How you doing? What's up, Phil? How are you?
1,000.
Phil, what you doing with all this gun, man? 1,000 times. So a couple days after that, a group of Clemson students, because Clemson, I guess, was semi-nearby, had rented the Traditions bar for a private party. They rented it out for a big private party for that whole weekend, but Troy was having trouble because the septic tank was fucked up. So imagine a bar full of college students who have rented the place. It's all there, so they're going to get disgustingly drunk.
It's going to be fun, though.
Imagine them with the shit tank overflowing.
Eesh.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
We're talking Pabst Blue Ribbon shits all over the place.
Oh, boy.
Going to be spread around the walls, so this is bad. Bad.
Sweet Pete written over the toilet.
Yeah, in shit. In fucking blue ribbon diarrhea.
It's hilarious how this country, if you don't think it's divided, go into one of those portalettes. It is hysterical to see the things that people say to each other. I saw one that
any male bathroom. Do women do that? Do you write horrible racist things on the bathroom walls while you're sitting there?
I saw one with an arrow pointing into the urinal.
Stacy's no.
Arrow pointing to the urinal said Donald Trump's mouth, and then arrow pointed into the shitter, and it said, please take one free Obama doll. I was like, how divided is America?
Jesus Christ, what is happening? What is happening? God,
what
redneck portalette humor.
Disgusting.
Wonderful.
Unbelievable.
And they come out with the toilet things and they go, free cowboy hat.
See?
They're quite the clever bunch.
Everybody, toilet humor always wins.
Oh, yeah. Blue-collar toilet humor. Wonderful. It's good stuff there. So the shit tank is broken. Yeah. What do we do? Mm-hmm. So this Astro guy, he tells Troy, you know those Walters guys you met at my house? They know how to fix shit like this. They're good at this sort of thing. Yeah. Why? I'm sure there's a company that fixes septic tanks.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Guarantee there's a company that if you call them, they'll come right out and fix that septic tank. But apparently he needed it fixed like ASAP. He couldn't wait till Monday morning to get the septic tank fixed. He needed to get it going. Yeah. So he says, fine, if they can fucking help me, great. Call them up and see what's going on here. Now, like I said, we don't know. He doesn't know these guys at all. And so Troy, the Walters, they set up mobile homes for a living. Okay. That's their job.
So they're familiar.
They're familiar with shit tanks and plumbing. I'm sure just random. Sure. They're handy guys. Yeah. If you can set up a trailer to make it livable and connect it to shit in the ground.
There you go.
There you go. So that's what they do. Troy said, sounds great. Bring them on over here. So Friday night, November 14th, because he's got the students coming in and he wants to, doesn't want shit flowing out everywhere. They all show up at the Traditions Bar on Friday night, November 14th to work on the septic tank. Okay. So he just met them, earlier that day. They build a bonfire outside and spend the night, just all night outside, working on the septic tank. And I use that in quotes. Yeah. Working on the septic tank, which also was drinking beer, smoking a little weed, and doing meth. Yeah. Also, because if you're going to fix a septic tank all night, that's got to be meth fueled. Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here? And talking about deer hunting, which is a weird meth conversation. I just like to get this fucking deer and I just see that motherfucker and I can connect with him. You know what I mean? Like I can see him through my scope and I'm like, I'm going to fucking, I'm in there and he knows I'm in his head and then he just doesn't even move because he knows he's mine. He's mine. Like the universe has willed his soul to me, right? So I'll fucking get it right between the crosshairs. I fucking shoot him. And then when I eat him, I feel his soul escape from my body when I shit. That's how it works. Yeah. It's pretty fucking cool, man. It's pretty cool.
I feel like you've done this.
I've never done meth or deer hunted, but I feel like if I was a methy deer hunter, that would be my thought process here. So this turns into this is the weirdest thing ever. Okay, this is what I don't understand. These people are adults. They're 21 years old, 27 years old. Yeah. Troy is 30. They're not 17 years old. They have turned a all-night septic tank fixing thing into now all of a sudden they started calling other people. People started coming up and joining them. This turns into a party. Yeah. Friends start coming over. Everybody around the backed up shit tank. What kind of party is that?
Not fun.
You know anything about backed up shit tanks by any chance? Everyone that shows up, I heard there was beer here. I don't. And also, Troy's got to be like, there's a bar inside where people can pay for all this shit. This is how good of a business owner he is. So all these people are here now. Troy carries a gun. A lot. Yeah. He carries a gun. He says he carries a gun because, quote, I deal with money and liquor and I'm in a secluded location.
Legit reasons.
Fair enough. Yeah. If you're a bar owner in a secluded location, you
probably got a gun.
It's like being an immigrant liquor store owner or some sort of general store in the middle of nowhere, gas station.
Anywhere you're doing commerce and you're secluded.
You have money.
You own it. I hope you got a gun too.
You have money that someone can take and you're out of earshot of police. Right. They'll probably or other people. You
witnesses,
need a gun. Those are the people who have guns. So Troy said he's never been hunting, which I find interesting. Yeah. He's a South Carolina guy who carries a gun and everything, but he's never been hunting. And he never has. He's never been deer hunting, never been hunting. And he says he became interested in learning to hunt in the past few weeks, and now they were talking about hunting, and so he's really got his, he's got his fur up to go hunting. He's like, this sounds like fun, man. I hear about it, and then now you guys are talking about it. This fucking meth is getting good to me, so let's go hunting. So what he's carrying now is a Colt 45 semi-automatic that he purchased at a pawn shop a few years earlier. Okay. He got a pawn shop. This is what he carries around with him. That's like we've discussed. 45's a lot of gun. Yeah. That's a big fucking cannon of a gun. That'll
very little room for error.
Man,
that was what I tried to use.
Yeah, that's wow.
That night, that's what I had in my hand.
That's a big gun.
It's because you want whatever you're shooting at should disappear.
Well, yeah, it's not a.
It eliminates problems.
That's the thing. Yeah, 45 is you gotta want it bad because it's there's no coming back from that shit. So it's that. So now the party breaks up. Mm-hmm. The big shit tank party breaks up. Everybody's all methy and boozy and. I don't know if the shit tank got fixed or what, but they break up. Now, Shane and Stacy and another friend of theirs drove around the woods with their guns. This is with Troy, too. Troy, Shane, Stacy, so the two brothers, the Walters brothers, and some other friend from the party, drove around the woods with their guns looking for deer. Because when you're methed up and you've been up all night, now's the time to shoot. This is what I mean. Want to do it? Let's just fucking do it. Let's go shoot some deer.
We can go right now.
We go right fucking now. Let's do it. Why not? There's woods. I got a gun. Why not? We're people. We're human beings. We're free in this world. I don't understand why we can't just do it. Take that meth, though. Bring that with us. We're going to need it. Otherwise, we'll all be sleeping in the woods soon. So apparently they saw a deer at some point, but they spooked it and it ran away.
Okay.
So they found one fucking deer and they startled it and spooked it. So they all just said, well, I guess it's time to go home now. You know, what are you going to do? How long is this going to last? I guess they're out of meth. You know how it goes. So Shane takes Troy home and tells him that he would help him again with the septic tank on Saturday if needed. So they were up all night. Shit tank still doesn't work. Still fucked up with the septic tank, which is, this is what meth does. Useless. They multiple people, 12 people hung out and nobody fixed the fucking thing, but they all remembered to do meth. Right. So the next day, Saturday, November 15th, and it was kind of the same thing. This time Troy picks up Shane Walters at Paul Zastro's house at about 9 p.m. and they drive to Traditions to work on the septic tank, which I feel like we're just partying again. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like there's any septic tank thing going here.
You see what they're interested in, a minimum.
Yeah, exactly. So a bunch of the same people show up from the night before, and literally it's a same thing, a party. They have a big bonfire, and he's just, rather than having his bar open on a Friday and Saturday night making money, he's going to party around a bonfire with a bunch of idiots, basically. So, or whatever, a bunch of people. A bunch
of kids he shouldn't be with.
A bunch of, you're married. Go home. What are you doing, man? Fucking doing meth around a bonfire? This is not adult behavior. I'm sorry. So, or it's very adult behavior. One of the two. I haven't decided yet. Too adult. I would say arguably too adult. Yeah. So a bunch of those people there, they drank booze, they did meth, they smoked weed, they did all that, until the bar closed. So he had it open, but he's outside doing that. That's what you want to do. When you pull up to a bar, me personally, if I'm going to a bar to have a drink, when I pull up in the parking lot, outside the bar, I want to see a bunch of fucking meth people around a bonfire banging on a shit tank with a hammer. That's where I go. This is where we're drinking. This is going to be great.
Out of their heads.
This is going to be talking about deer hunting. Want to go kill something? Like, nah, we're going to go to the next bar. Thanks.
Munching on their molars.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Ever been deer hunting or grinding their teeth? No. So apparently, at this point, Troy and Shane agreed to go hunting again the following morning. Said, well, shit, we could do this. Let's do it. And they do have their whole meth thing. So Troy drops Shane off and after the party breaks up and goes home to prepare to go hunting. Okay. This seems like the type of thing that wouldn't happen. Like, we're going to go hunting in the morning. We're totally going to fucking do it. And then they both pass out and call each other at like 2 in the afternoon and go, you didn't show up, did you?
We really fucked up.
Yeah, you didn't show up, did you? Because I just woke up now. So they don't. They go home there. Troy then waited for Shane, who was supposed to come back, but he never showed up.
Right.
Because, people who just did drugs all night are unreliable at best. So, but I like Troy just sitting there like with his camo vest on and his gun over his shoulder, just waiting
Orange
for him.
Cap.
Yeah, like a kid waiting for his dad to take him somewhere. Like, no, Dad said he's coming. He'll be here. So yeah, he never shows up. So Troy drove over to Shane's house and knocked on the door twice. Drove over to his house twice. Yeah. 2 different times and knocked on the door. Both times he got no answer. So he assumed Shane fell asleep because that would have been the logical thing to do, would be to go to sleep, and instead he's getting ready to hunt. Right. So then Troy drives over to Paul Zastro's house and has some coffee for some reason. I don't know why. And then goes home and goes to sleep. Okay. So the meth, I think the coffee was a come down.
It erases some?
I feel like it was, man, I got too much meth going on. How about some of that fucking coffee? So that afternoon, now this is the next afternoon. It's Sunday now, November 16th. Shit tank still broken, by the way. November 16th. Now Shane and his wife Vicky, now because Shane's married, had some friends over to watch the car races on TV. So this is a very southern thing here. This is very specific if the rest of the world doesn't understand. Yeah. Very, very specific to a very specific region of this country. In some parts.
And they said car races, so it doesn't necessarily mean NASCAR. They could have been watching fucking any car. Could have been a CRV.
Could have been. It could have been 14-year-old kids that souped up Nissan Pulsars to go mud bogging.
They'll watch it.
And they'll watch that shit. Car racing is considered a spectator thing, and people will come over to stare at cars driving around in circles together, which I don't understand the communal positive benefit of that.
Was the Pulsar a Nissan? I think.
Yeah, it was a Nissan. Was it? It was absolutely a Nissan. Yeah, it had those lights in the back that were like,
I remember it.
A diagonal shaded, like
ugly car.
80s, like 80s sunglasses. Like they were like, they had like louvers on the fucking. It was funny. I think my mother almost bought one in the 80s. I swear. I think seriously, I swear to God, she was looking at a Pulsar and bought a CRX. Not kidding. The one that we rolled over a bunch of times.
That is amazing.
You know it. So this whole thing comes down. They're all watching the races. Shane and Vicky have the friends over watching the races. Troy is not there. Troy calls Shane several times, and then finally he and Paul Zastro go over to the Walters trailer. Both brothers live there, and the guy's wife in the trailer. So this tells you.
Why is that always the case?
It's always the case. Yeah, if you have a trailer, it's you and whoever you're with can live there. Nobody else can have roommates in the trailer. I'm sorry. So they end up going over there about 4 4:00 in the afternoon. There, I don't know if the races are still going on or what.
Probably.
Maybe. Now, Stacy comes, the brother, the Walter Walters brother. He comes in. He's been out working. He comes in a short time later. Now, at some point in this evening, Shane, Stacy, and Troy decided that they're going to go four-wheeling in Shane's truck.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. It's probably not.
Shit tank still broke?
It's shit tank is not working. Overflowing with Pabst Blue Ribbon college beer shits everywhere.
They don't fix shit.
No,
they don't
there's
fix anything.
Used condoms floating in it. It's a mess from that weekend. It's a fucking disaster. But they're going to go four-wheeling, which who knows if he even has a four-wheel drive truck or if he's got like a 91 S10 Chevy pickup that he's going to take out there.
Drive.
Yeah, just a two-wheel drive little truck here. So they decide they're going to go four-wheeling. Troy has his gun with them, he says, in case they go hunting.
Yeah.
And Shane says, yeah, I'll bring my rifle too. While we're four-wheeling, if we see some deer, let's fucking get it on. Which a 45 handgun is an odd deer hunting weapon, but I guess it's effective enough. It'll get the job done, but it's not the thing you pull off the rack first, I don't think.
You got to get close.
Yeah, it's...
It
come
dissipates
here, motherfucker.
real fast.
You get up, you put it right behind his fucking ear. That's what you do. These deers...
sneak up on them.
These fucking deers walk around the woods like they own the joint, right? They walk around and they shitting their little pellets all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
You get one, he's all quiet. He's sipping from a brook like a... Look at him, hey, he thinks he's so cool. You walk up right behind him, you fucking blast him behind the ear. His brain's all over the place.
And you got venison.
When you got... No, you just leave him there as an example. That's what you do.
You don't
I don't want to cook
the
him.
rest of them to see it.
That's right. I want him to know, this asshole, this is not what you do in my fucking woods. Shitting all over the place. I don't want to eat him. Disgusting, running around. I don't know what kind of bugs he's got, parasites. So anyway, they're all here. They're going four-wheeling. By the way, when you go four-wheeling and with guns and looking for deer, I guess, whatever, you want to make sure you're drinking and doing meth at the same time also, because it's no fun otherwise.
The drinking I get.
Obviously, yeah, but the meth, they're going...
That seems like a specific time and place thing.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I mean?
No, this is a Sunday afternoon four-wheeling and gunplay thing. You just do a bunch of meth.
Glass dicks, gunplay, and deer hunting.
Yeah,
Good
that's
Lord.
right. So at some point here, they're four-wheeling. The three of these guys drive over to a woman named Tammy Steele's house where they continue to party.
Yeah.
So they're coming from the woods, and they're coming in to party from the woods with their booze and meth.
At Tammy Steele's house.
At Tammy Steele. We're going to Tammy's house.
She sounds like a porn actress.
Tammy Steele, yeah, she kind of does. Tammy Steele sounds like a long-suffering trailer wife who's been, he's just been arrested so many times, and every time he goes, I have to take all the money we have to bail him out, and then how am I going to pay the bills that month? And the kids ask me why we ain't got but no electricity to see for.
I tell him every time when he leaves the house, now I don't want to get no call from the law.
I don't want to get no call from the law now that you're going to have to pick
Every
you up.
time he leaves the house, I tell him, you're going to change your ways. You better change your
God,
ways.
you better change them ways now. evil ways. So, yeah, this is fucking amazing. So, Tammy, Jesus Christ. While they're there, Troy's wife, Michelle, calls him on the fucking phone and goes, hey, dickhead, you remember you're married?
Right.
And the shit tank's still broken, you
Right.
stupid fuck? If anyone needs a wife, it's this guy.
Yeah.
He needs that wife. He needs the wife to go, hey, stupid. What are you doing?
Right.
Why are you not home or fixing the fucking septic tank? Those are the only two things that are acceptable for you right now, you dumb fuck. You stupid asshole. That's what she should be saying. She calls him while he's at the party, and after speaking to her, he tells everybody else that he doesn't want to go home that night.
No.
I ain't going home tonight. He literally gets off the phone and goes, I ain't going home tonight.
Fuck that.
She's being a bitch.
She's already mad.
She's all mad. She's like, oh, septic tanks and methamphetamine. It's like, come on.
They're like, why aren't you going home? Well, she's
Loosen
already
up.
mad now. If I just stick around, she's just going to be still mad.
This ain't gonna be any matter.
At best, maybe she'll cool off.
Or
She'll get madder.
Or I could be higher when I meet her, which either way advantage Troy,
Right.
is what I'm saying. So we gonna do this right now. So this it's fucking funny. So at this point, Troy starts kind of. I guess, I don't know if the phone call triggered him talking about his problems or whatever, but he starts getting into his problems, and he's like, hey, I'm not going home tonight, and she's being a pain in my ass, and he starts mentioning that his business is not doing very well, and, it's just he's been struggling, and the wife's on his ass, and, he's got fucking tractor leans or whatever the hell's going on. He's got a lot of problems. Troy. So he does meth, issues. Yeah. But at that point too, he thanks Shane and Stacy profusely for their attempted help with the septic tank. Okay. He goes, guys, you know what? That's 2 days you guys spent trying to fix a septic tank, even though you didn't really come the second time. We just kind of sat. You came, but we sat around and really didn't do anything. Thank you guys. So he thanks them profusely, and everything. This Tammy woman said while they're at her house, everything was great, and he was just, you guys are true friends, even though I've known you for 72 hours. But it's in a row. We've been awake the entire time, so it feels like longer. Right. In meth years, it's longer, is what I'm getting at.
Feels like forever that I met you guys a long ago.
I measure.
Could be because I haven't slept.
Maybe. Meth, how do you say elongates things is what it is. It feels like I've known you at least 7 to 9 years.
Our relationship is certainly oblong.
That's beautiful. So he's thanking them. So at some point here, Tammy's sister, a woman named Danielle, comes over, and a little while later, Paul Zastro contacts the group and asks if Troy would bring him some beer from Traditions. So this is weird. I guess, I don't know if they don't have money or if the stores are closed or what.
He's trying to DoorDash him?
He's saying, well, you go get beer from your bar and bring it to us.
DoorDash it to me.
Yeah, I guess, but it's his.
Can you Instacart me?
Yeah, exactly. yeah, totally. Instacart my shit. Yeah, Instacart, by the way, it's a great product. We use it all the time. It's wonderful. So we have a promo code somewhere. Look it up. So they go there. Shane and Danielle at this point. Troy says he will. So Troy, Shane, and Danielle, who is Tammy's sister, go by Traditions, and then they go over to Zastro's with the beer, where they continue to drink and do a shitload more meth, obviously, and that sort of thing, and they're drinking with Zastro and Zastro's girlfriend. Now, while they're gone, Tammy says, because Stacy stayed behind, while they're gone, Tammy says that she and Stacy had sex while they were gone, while everybody else left. They had some trailer sex, and she says that the condom Stacy was wearing broke, and they couldn't find it. Now, if it broke... What do you?
Did it explode?
Did it break off of him? And with that, did it disintegrate in her vagina?
Was that thing?
Yeah, or
How long was that in your wallet, Stacy?
If it broke, did the bottom, the bring part break? Because that's not the part that breaks usually.
That thing usually sticks around.
And then you find the other. You see that, but apparently the whole thing's gone. She went in up to her elbow looking for it apparently and couldn't find it. I don't know. She said it was gone. It was broke. It broke. She said it broke and they couldn't find it.
Broke. I can't find it, and everything tastes like latex.
All right. She just shrugged and said, "All right, that's right. It's just another Saturday night in the trailer park. I think it doesn't matter." So Shane, Danielle, and Troy all return to Tammy's house there to party more through the night with his brother and everything like that, Stacy. So this party does not break up until after 5 a.m. So they're partying all night. This is a long fucking weekend of partying. These people have just met 3 days ago. This is a really heavy fucking, bonding time.
They really hit it off. They really have.
Well, meth will do that for you. It really makes you...
You find something in common with somebody when it's meth.
Yeah. Hey, meth? Well,
it's hard to find people to do that.
Meth and a vague interest in deer hunting.
It's real easy to find them. It's less easy to bond with them.
That's the thing, because you have to.
You can point them out pretty easy.
Well, yeah, and then they don't want to even talk to each other. Though. It's like, ew, gross. So that's awesome. After 5, Shane, Stacy, and Troy leave Tammy's house in Shane's truck. Okay. After they leave her house, Shane drives them all to Sonia Khan's house. Sonia Khan is 21 years old, and she is the best anyone can figure out is that she was a waitress somewhere where they hung out, and they knew her vaguely that way. But they knew her well enough to go to her house at 5:30 in the morning and pick her up. So I don't know. Like I said, meth is a hell of a fucking bonder. It'll bond you.
It really motivates you.
It'll motivate you. So they go pick up Sonia Khan. Sonia sits in the front of the truck between Shane and Troy, and Stacy sat in the back seat of the truck behind on the passenger side over there. So they drove around for a little while. and they eventually end up in a kudzu field that all of them knew. The Walters knew it. Even Sonia Khan knew of this place, but Troy was unfamiliar with it. It's overlooking Lake Hartwell, which is around there. It's a big lake. Lake Talk with James and Jimmie. We're going to discuss small, rural South Carolina lakes and what's good to catch fish in there. What do you think, Jimmie? The crappie biting this time of year?
It could be the trout.
What do we get in there? What do you think?
Bass?
We going live? A spinner bait? What are you thinking? Chartreuse? What color? Is it just a power bait situation?
Yeah. Is this a glitter lure?
What are we doing here? Yeah, how is this? I like a spinner bait. Yeah. It's nice for bass. So anyway,
get a good rig on there, and you can catch all kind of shit all day.
Everything now.
I just like the trolling part of fishing. That's my favorite part.
It's fun. I
love that.
I like sitting there.
A slow putt around the lake, drinking and smoking. And
so you're sitting there, you get good
watching that line on the back of the boat.
Stoned, and you're like, no, man, if you're stoned enough, you can really become one with the fish, kind of like the guy with the deer.
Yeah.
But it's different because I don't think me and the fish know each other, but I feel like I can feel that line.
Yeah.
And I'm tied into the whole system, man.
I'm getting so drunk on a boat with a few lines back there that we're just trolling and talking, and then we make a few passes on the lake. We're like, we should check these. And we look back there, and there's definitely fish on there, and they're
dragging dead fish behind you, fucking weeds stuck to them and shit.
They're beat to shit. There's no fins on them.
I think we have to throw them out now. I think we did it wrong.
I think these are shark bait now. I think that's what this is.
We fucked it all up, man. Try again next time. Maybe we'll do better. So back to the hillbillery here. So he says, this is Troy's story. From this point on, he says, once they get in the field, the atmosphere in the truck changed, is what he said. Everything changed. He said, and this is what he said. Now, might as well just say it in his words because they're funnier. So, normally I don't want to give I hate to give idiots voice, but when they're funny, and sorry, it's better. It's more embarrassing if we use his words and make fun of them. I feel like that's less empowering to him. So, this is what he says. He says, quote, when we got to the top, we parked and I believe there was some beer opened and Sonia handed Stacy some, what I believe to have been some more methamphetamine. This is amazing. I love his statement, trying to sound intelligent while saying that one chick passed another chick some meth.
Right.
That's, I believe, from what I had believed at the time to contain methamphetamine.
Right.
Shut up.
A guy that just used it for the past few days.
It was more like, Stacy, give Sonia some crank, all right? Because I'm coming down, brother. Fucking man, I can almost get my dick hard. So we really got to start the cycle again. I want to really just make it impossible. So he says that. He says, quote, Stacy was fixing it on a CD case, which is very 1997.
It is.
Fixing your meth on a CD. When's the last time meth was fixed on a CD case?
Like a fucking Limp Bizkit CD.
It's kind of nostalgic. Yeah, I think it was probably, or like a Korn CD or something. Yeah, I feel like that's what it was. I feel like these guys.
Metallica black so that you can see it all.
Yeah. Put it on the Black Album. Right. Yeah, but not that nothing else matters because that's for pussies. It's these guys, I feel like, definitely. So she's fixing it on a CD case, which we've all been there. Yeah. We've all fixed meth on a CD case at 6 o'clock in the morning in a kudzu field, right? With strangers after you've tried to fix a septic tank, but instead done meth all weekend.
Can't fix a septic tank, but I can fix this.
I could fix this up. And he said, quote, and I said to Shane, I said, quote, are there any deer here? Where are the deer? He didn't answer, but Sonia did. The girl that they picked up here. She says, quote, there ain't no deer here. This is a scattering field. You're getting a blank look from me. I don't know what the fuck a scattering field is. He says, quote, I didn't know what to think of that. Then he says, I guess I just let it go and I didn't think much more about it. And I started a conversation about the restaurant. Shane and I had talked about him knowing someone that could help me that wasn't a bank. So he's been, these new people that he just met, he's been doing meth with.
Telling him his financial situation?
Yeah, he's having trouble and he's literally, Shane's like, I know a guy who's not a bank who can lend you money. So Shane has turned him on to a loan shark.
Yeah.
A southern loan shark, which I don't know what the fuck that, I don't have a character for that.
No.
I just reached in my bank of whatever to pull out a character.
You opened a filing cabinet that's empty.
I did. I pictured the guy like, toothpick in his mouth, flicking a nickel from like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. And I'm like, no, that's not a southern loan shark. And I'm like, maybe it's like a Boss Hogg type character possibly, but
probably not him either.
Didn't quite ring true to me. I don't know. So I don't know who that is.
He is a terrifying man though.
He He absolutely
He's
is.
somebody you don't want around.
He said they don't even say what he is. They just say someone that could help me that wasn't a bank.
Okay.
That sounds really shady. The old man with his dick out. Technically, I'm not a bank. Right. Technically, you're not a bank. Anybody technically is really not a bank. So he said, and I asked him a little more about that, and he told me that he had worked out that he had that worked out, and that I didn't have to worry about that. So they just met, but he's already got his financial situation all.
It's already squared away.
This is meth talk at 6 o'clock in the morning in a kudzu, whatever the fuck field. So
scattering field.
It's a scattering field is all it is. So he says that's when Stacy handed Shane a cassette case. They're still cassettes.
Now they're down to cassettes.
Wow, they're downgrading their audio quality.
Or is she using like the CD to like get a bunch of it and then like
down
section it off to the little
everybody
cassette.
Gets a cassette.
Everybody gets their own.
Here you go. You get White Snake.
You get Kenny Rogers Christmas.
You get that's a good one. You're lucky. You're so lucky with this Kenny Rogers Christmas. And you talked about, we already discussed it.
Yeah.
Who wanted the poison? Open up and say, you. All right, there we go. So, as he says, I asked him a little more about that. That's when he's handed him a cassette case with some, what I thought to be methamphetamine on it. And he keeps saying that like it's like he doesn't know what meth is, right, and that they're all doing meth. What I believe to be methamphetamine.
That's what I gather.
Yeah, you're doing meth. Right. He said, quote, he held it for a moment and passed it to me. When I got it, it still had 4 lines or 4 piles of powder on it, in case the police don't know what a fucking line is. I don't think there's a police department rural enough to not know what a line is.
Of drugs is.
In context of he handed me some meth and it was broken up in that fashion. So he said, I thought it was strange that there were 4 and it had been passed through the other 3. So that's what he said. He thought that was strange. And he passed it to me. He asked me if I had ever wronged anyone. And I said, no. What do you mean by that? And he said, quote, then he said, have you ever wronged your Uncle Ronnie? That's his claim now. So now this is when it gets weird. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, before none of this is weird. None of this is weird at all.
This is a normal Saturday.
This is when he claims that it gets real strange. And if any of this is true, this is a fucking odd turn, I would say. A super odd turn here. So have you ever wronged your Uncle Ronnie? He said this was a weird thing.
Strange line of questioning.
Yeah, from a stranger. Mm-hmm. So Troy says that question, quote, struck fear into his soul. Oh, struck fear into his soul. So Troy, obviously, and his father both didn't like Ronnie and thought Ronnie was a ruthless guy. And Ronnie is known as a drug dealer and a drug smuggler and sort of just a bad dude, basically. And so at that point, this is what Troy says. Troy says that Shane said that he and Ronnie had this thing worked out. So now Shane's saying he knows his Uncle Ronnie is what he's claiming here. That he had, quote, had this thing worked out and that he had gotten money from drugs in Florida. Shane did. Shane said that all he had to do was take care of me, meaning Troy, and then Shane said, it's time to get this over with. So he's saying that basically his uncle has hired them to kill him. Is what it is. This is all an orchestrated hit of you, because one thing,
wasting drugs on their target.
On their target. Yeah. Well, the thing is too, and this is known. One thing that mafia people do whenever they kill anybody, you have to fix their septic tank first. I think that's
at least try.
It's mafia law.
Right.
It's one of those things you can't fuck other guys' wives.
Right.
You can't. You're not supposed to sell drugs out in the open. Do
favor
blah blah
for
blah.
A favor, James.
And also, you have to fix their septic tank before you kill them. That's really pretty standard shit. I think everyone knows that. So yeah, he says that it's time to get this over with. He says then, quote, then he pulled out the gun and told me to get the hell out of the truck. Stacy had me around the neck and had a knife in his hand, and he said, quote, we're going to make you squeal like a pig, boy. So that's okay.
That's some Southern threats.
That is some deliverance, literally deliverance.
Verbatim.
Deliverance threat. This is, that is the universe. Squeal like a pig when you have someone in the woods with a knife to their throat is a universal, ass rape scenario is what he's getting at here. So Sonia then says, quote, yeah, baby, make him squeal like a pig. This is what Troy claims. So she's into it like fucking Juliette Lewis over here. Yeah. She's rooting this on for some reason.
That's gross.
But the thing is that they're not they're not even known to be together or anything like that. So he says, though, she said, yeah, baby. Like, it's like this, like
they're openly together.
Like they're a trio of like, they kill and they fuck and they do meth. And this is like the thing they do on a Friday night type of thing. This is what he's trying to say. So we're going to make you squeal like a pig, boy. So this has gotten very Southern very fast.
And they're all in the cab of the truck still saying this shit?
This is all in the cab of the truck, okay? He says, quote, I lunged for the gun and the gun went off.
Yeah.
I was able to get the gun and I just shot. I couldn't say which direction. Into their heads.
Yeah, I would say.
It's pretty good. Your instincts are phenomenal.
Right.
I shot until it wouldn't shoot. I opened up the driver's door and I pushed Shane and Sonia out of the truck. I heard what sounded like another door slamming. I looked on the seat and saw the other clip for the gun was there, and I put the other clip in the gun. I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get the bullet to go in, and I remember trying to get it to work and bullets coming out, and I remember it going off. That's what happens when you shoot them. The bullets come out.
Right.
It's really speed at that point. It's the only real distinction between them just coming out of your pocket or a gun in a firing manner.
Right.
I've never ever heard someone who described shooting someone as, quote, the bullets coming out. I've never heard that at all. Have you ever heard that?
And then bullets came out.
And then it's weird, right? Because it puts the onus on the bullets at that point. Like it was their
it's really
independent.
Not your fault.
Their independent decisions to jump from the gun and die, embed themselves in other people's skulls. What the fuck?
He thinks he's got Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
bullets.
that's exactly what it is. They have a mind of their own. These things, you know how it goes with these bullets nowadays. They don't listen. They go out when you tell them to stay home. You're grounded, and they go, no, I'm going in his head. I'm going in a meth addict's head. So he said, then I got out of the truck to see what it was that I may have heard, and I couldn't see anything. I went around and pulled Stacy out of the truck. So he went around, he pulled Stacy out of the truck. He says, I got in the truck and got the hell out of there. I thought I was going to be raped and killed. Okay. So he says once he's out of danger, how he felt, out of danger away from the area, he claims he became concerned for the safety of his father and his wife. Yeah. He said, well, if Uncle Ronnie put a hit out on me with fucking Methy the septic tank fixers, then he's obviously going to kill my whole family. I mean, duh, this isn't meth paranoia speaking at all or anything like that. So he said, by the way, he's been doing meth for 3 fucking days. When he went to the police station, he was still probably flying.
Sure.
Or at least in a bad state.
He didn't realize he was covered in blood.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So he said he left the field in Shane's truck and called his father from a cell phone. Not his, just a cell phone. Might have been his. He says that he drove directly to his father's house, and he got his father, and his father got into his father's truck, and they drove to his own house to get his wife.
Yeah.
I gotta go get my wife. Yeah. She's already mad at me for being out, not fixing the septic tank and doing meth all weekend. Wait till she hears about this.
Right.
Which, honestly, that's a pretty good excuse of why I didn't come home. Some rednecks took me in the woods and tried to rape me, I think is a...
And look at me. I killed them all.
And I killed all of them, goddamn. No wife can say, they'll be like, well, all right, that's fine this time. But next time, call.
Yeah. I like that they took Pop's truck because I guarantee you he was like, come on, quick, we got to go get the wife. And he walks out and goes, let's take my car.
Let's take the one not covered in other people's brain matter. What do you say? How's that sound? Yeah, so they go to get Michelle. At that point, Troy told his wife that Ronnie had tried to kill him, which that's all just what he said. He said Ronnie tried to kill him and then he shot 3 people defending his life and told his wife, quote, it was a scene out of Deliverance. So he knows what he's talking about.
He has seen it.
Yeah. Now from his house, his father and Michelle all drive to the Seneca Police Department where we started, where Warren walks in and says fucking,
put the donuts down. Do I got a show and tell for you.
Think about now you've heard Police Chief Lee. That's why I wanted to set the scene earlier of him with his feet up on the desk reading the newspaper with a Danish and a thing, and this walks in. Jesus. Not just a guy, not just with a 3 days worth of meth and brains on his fucking shirt walks in to confess to this mess.
Okay.
This is like a hurricane. So the autopsies here, Stacy's autopsy reveals that he was wearing a condom at the time of his death.
He found it.
Okay.
He put it back on.
Hey, there it is.
Here it is for safekeeping.
Which he says, hey, that's where I keep it, on my dick.
How about this, though? though. Kid's packing so hard that he can keep one on his lip dick.
Well, it's
That's
a condom.
impressive.
No, it's not. They're so fucking tight. Are you kidding me? It's going to stick on.
All right, listen to you braggart.
I'm not a braggart. It's meant to hold.
Yeah, but you put one on, I don't know, 2-3 fingers. They're not really going to stay on very well. I got little hands.
I have bigger fingers. I don't know. So, Stacy here, he says that, or the Stacy thing says that the condom he's wearing a condom at the time of his death, which Troy says, see, I told you he was going to rape me. He was that ready to rape me that he came wearing a condom. He goes, I'm going to rape that guy later. I better put this on now for safekeeping. First, who the fuck keeps a condom on ahead of time? Hold on. You know what? In a couple hours, I'm going to put it on now just to be safe.
You take your pants off, you could be like, there could be a lot of reasons you just took your pants off. Do you have to piss? Oh, there's a condom on. I see what's going on.
It's super weird to have just keep a condom on.
I see what you're doing.
The weirder thing is what the state claims. Neither of these things make sense. That he would have it on ahead of time to rape him doesn't make sense. And it also doesn't make sense what the state says. The state says, no. He didn't put it on then to rape the guy. He had it on earlier. It's the same one he used when he was banging Tammy earlier in the night.
Yeah.
Who the fuck, who's having sex and is like, I'm just going to stop for a while. Aren't you going to take that? No, I'm leave it on just because we're going to get back into it later. I'll just keep it on. I'm going to go out hunting in the kudzu fields for a while, and then I'll be back, and I'll probably stick it in you again, so I don't want to waste it. You know what I mean?
Or if he did finish, and then he's like, if I take this off, there's going to be a mess. And, I may as well just keep it. It's all confined right now.
That's the other thing. Either he didn't finish, and he just stopped midway through, and he's like, well, I ain't wasting a condom. These are $1.19 or so.
How cheap is a meth head?
I didn't even bust my nut in this thing, so it's going to be used until it is full of semen. Let's just say that. At one point,
let's hope I fuck before I piss.
Yeah, let's just hope. Fingers crossed. Have a good one. I'm going to go out in the fields now. This is what happens. So either one of these scenarios are fucking ridiculous, but one of them is true. That's the crazy part.
Has to be.
One of them has to be true. It's an autopsy. Unless...
it's an autopsy. They would usually document condoms still on guy full of semen.
It's full of semen. They didn't say anything about being full of semen. So that's the other...
I guarantee you are right.
Yeah,
I think he looked down and was like, well, I can't keep fucking because my dick doesn't work because I'm methed up.
Yeah, but it's going to work eventually.
My dick is methed up right now, but eventually it won't be methed up.
It's going to come around.
And then I'll make a mess.
And then this dried out fucking condom has been rubbing on my pants and zipper.
That is real high hopes that you are going to fuck again before you piss.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's incredible. I don't even know what to say about this. Was the part of the story where I was like, I was rubbing my eyes. It was like 4 a.m. I'm like, what am I talking about? This is what I do for a living? What am I doing?
It is because he's so cheap. He didn't want to waste it.
But that's disturbing. What's more disturbing is my job is to try to figure out why a meth addict was he going to rape another meth addict, or was he just being cheap?
Right.
Like that's what my fucking job. That's what we do for a living. This is our job, Jimmy, to figure this out. That's the more disturbing thing here. So yeah, he's got a condom on when he dies. And the only third option would be Troy said, the only way my story is going to work, how do I get evidence if they were planning to rape me? I'm going to go put a condom on that dead guy's limp dick, which is probably even more disturbing than the other two.
It's going pretty far.
That's going far. Yeah. If you shoot a guy in the head and then pull his pants down, put a condom on his limp dick, and then put him back up again, and so the autopsy looks normal, and then goes, all right, perfect, all right, and then leave. That's even more fucking disturbing. So. Yeah, that's what ends up happening there. By the way, Sonia Khan had a 3-year-old daughter at the time of her death. I mean, joking aside, it's all funny and condoms and craziness and meth, but she had a 3-year-old daughter, and Stacy Walters has 2 sons, ages 3 and 1. So, I mean, these are a lot of 3 small children without parents now. That's brutal shit. So, this is, Jesus Christ, man. This is, he tells the story. When he takes him to see the bodies, he repeats the story, and he says, they told me I was going to have to they were going to make me squeal like a pig. Yeah. I figured this was a threat of, rape, so I shot them. He said, they said that, and his thing is how, of course, I couldn't have known he had a condom on, so, obviously, my story checks out, right. Or he's just sheep, or, right. Like I said, he put a condom on a dead guy, which any of those things are possible.
They're all there.
The way this story goes, any of those three are as plausible as literally anything else that could possibly happen.
He could always wear a condom. That might just be his thing. That might be his,
that's it. His,
Negro League minor league baseball cap.
Exactly,
That's your thing.
Or
that could be his thing.
Or somebody has a toothpick in them they always keep in their mouth.
His wallet chain.
Yes, and the name of the league is the Negro League, so don't text. No, that's literally what it's officially. It says it on the tag on there. There's really no thing else you could call it. It would be disrespectful to the men who played there. So go fuck yourself. Anyway, because I knew somebody would. Did Jimmie say Negro? Like in that context, it's fine. Right. God damn it! So shut up. So anyway, this is wearing a condom. I don't know
what's ridiculous. It's his thing.
I'm
going with that's his thing.
It's his thing that he does. It's just Stacey always got a condom on.
Changes every time he pisses.
When you got game like Stacey, you never know when it's time to fuck. It's time to fuck.
He could have gonorrhea or something. It's always dripping. She's it holds it all. He could have something, anything.
She's like, will you put a condom on? He's like, already wearing one, sweetheart.
Way ahead of you.
Spread them. Let's go. I'm here for speed and efficiency. You know how long it takes to put a condom on?
I'm trying to take as little time of your day as possible.
4 seconds? No. When you're in a gas station bathroom, you need to do it quicker than that.
Needs to
happen.
I'm saying.
So, this is crazy shit. So, like I said, the state and the police are saying, it could have been the same condom from before, whatever. So, when they got to the police station, like we said, he tells his dad that his uncle was behind it. It's at that point that one of the investigators conducted a test to determine gunshot residue on his hands, which he already said I shot them, so it didn't fucking matter. And Burkhart told the cop at that point, quote, "You're not ready to see what I've done." Okay. So he is saying it's quite a graphic scene. Yeah. An investigator here, he says that Troy was trying to show him where the bodies were, but he kept telling them kept saying they were going to take care of me. Right. They were going to take care of me. He said they just turned on me, is what he tells the cops when they're going out there. The pathologist here, Brett Woodard, said that he found 6 gunshot wounds on Shane Walters' body, Stacey Walters twice in the head, and Sonia Khan we talked about. So there. Now he's indicted, obviously, for murder of these people. He's indicted with 3 counts of murder and also 3 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime, which is an aggravator, which makes him very eligible for the death penalty in South Carolina. So he says, though, he is pleading not guilty and claiming self-defense. They were going to rape me. Look at the condom. So that's his whole case. Yeah. My Uncle Ronnie told him to rape and kill me, which is a really weird.
That's a really vicious uncle.
That's a rough uncle. Yeah. That is he's like Marcellus Wallace is his fucking, even Marcellus Wallace was fucking nicer than that. Yeah. He let Bruce Willis have a pass afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, we would have turned around and killed Bruce Willis too. So, the state says that the shots, this is the big thing here. Contrary to what Troy says, the state in their medical examination says that the shots that killed Shane and Sonia were fired after they were already incapacitated and lying on the ground outside the truck. So I shot him, didn't know what I was doing. They were all dead. I pulled them out and just left them there. That's not medically or scientifically possible. He shot them out there, at least 2 of them, and that he stomped Sonia and Stacey with his boot after he shot them, based on the forensic evidence also, which if it went down the way he says it went down, there's no stomping at all. Right. So the state's pathologist who said that they obviously, because they always say this is a pathologist will never say, this is exactly what happened, factually, definitely. You could say, could aliens have come down? And he'll go, maybe.
Who knows?
I wasn't there. Yeah. All I know is they have this many gunshot wounds, and this happened here. That's all I don't know who did it or why or how.
Got it.
So they asked him, could you rule out self-defense? And he said, no, could have been. I don't know. But he definitely shot him while they were incapacitated. I don't know. But you're the lawyer. Right. You tell me whether that's defense or not. I'm just telling you how he got shot. So they said also, in view of the amount of drugs and alcohol consumed by everybody, because everyone's systems were just bubbling with drugs and alcohol when they took blood tests here, he said, who knows? Could have been, we don't know. The way it all went down, who the hell knows? The defense pathologist, though, says that the shootings could have occurred exactly the way he described. He says that they might not have been shot outside, whatever. So the state says, well, tell you what, we're going to go ahead and seek the death penalty on this one. They're going to seek the death penalty, and they have to have aggravating circumstances. The prosecutor said, we always give the greatest consideration to the victims' families. In this case, we had two families, and they were very much in favor of the death penalty. So they said there, the Walters brothers' mother said that the death penalty is warranted. She said, quote, the killer needs to die. He killed 3 innocent people. Okay. Wow. So she wants some fucking vengeance here.
Baptist.
That's some Baptist. That's some Baptist shit right there. That's definitely Baptist. Eye for an eye.
You betcha.
Every fucking Sunday, this is all they talk about. I want to put into practice, which, hey, you know what? That's what you believe. Go for it. So he says that his attorney said that they don't believe they do believe he has a valid defense. They said, quote, Troy and his family deeply regret the incident that happened. That's light. Yeah. The incident that happened. Yeah. That's a lot of gunshot wounds. Call it an incident.
It's a real incident.
1 gunshot wound's an incident, because that could be an accident. An accident could be an incident.
It's true.
But a slaughter can't be an incident.
No.
Accident's incident.
It's an event. It's certainly an event.
It's an event, not an incident. Yes, and it's got food booths.
You know what it is? It's event plural.
Blow-ups. It's got blow-ups and face painting for the kids and everything.
Kind of shit going on.
Yeah, when you have that many gunshot wounds, it's really there's circus clowns and balloon twisting and shit. Yeah. So he says the event that happened, incident that happened here, and I asked has asked that I express their regrets to Shane, Stacy, and Sonia's family, is what his attorney said. Then he says, quote, we are confident that when all the facts are known, that Troy will be found innocent, and he and his wife, Michelle, can go on with their lives. So he said, we are super saddened. We express regrets to their family that their meth-addicted rapist hitmen children had to be killed. So you just said 2 completely opposite things. If it went down the way he said, he should be like, fuck them. They raised rapist hitmen. Fuck that family. That's what he should. If someone tried to rape and kill you in the woods, wouldn't you be like, fuck that motherfucker? Yeah, he deserved to. I fucking had to kill him. They were trying to gang rape me. What are you, crazy? Like, that's, but again, you have to be, I guess a lawyer can't say that. No. My client would like to
enter into a statement of fuck them.
Of fuck the, what was it? Fuck their mother. That's what. Fuck the victim's mother. And he says the grandmother, too, for good measure. I'm not sure. That's a statement.
She might be a rapist, too, he says.
He says she could have taught him everything. We're not positive. So March 6th, 2000 is the beginning of the trial. This trial will last 2 weeks total, which is a pretty good trial.
It's quick, though.
It's pretty quick compared to like OJ, but compared to a usual trial, they go by pretty fast. Yeah. I feel like here the jury was just like, one more time. Run that over again, because this is...
Can you play that again, sir?
This is better than a soap opera. This is crazy. This is like an episode of Reno 911 in real life.
Truly.
So it's a 9-woman, 3-man jury here. So the prosecution, they showed that, in their opening here, they showed that Troy had to reload his .45. Yeah. So that's reloading is a thing. That's you didn't even assess. No. You reloaded and shot more. Yeah. Like, when you ran out of bullets... When you were changing your clip, were you still being attacked? Right. No, then you don't have to shoot anymore. No. So that's the thing. Yeah. So that's what they're trying to say. They're saying he went on a shooting spree inside and outside the truck. Shane Walters, they say, shot 6 times, 1 to the back of the head. Stacy was shot in the right temple, right cheek, like we said. Sonia was shot 3 times, including right temple and through the left eye. Right. Now, the defense... In their opening here, his attorney, Johnny Fields, he tells the jury, quote, all of a sudden, something changed in that kudzu patch. One of the Walters brothers grabbed Burkhart by the neck while the other grabbed a gun. There's a struggle. The gun goes off. Burkhart gets it away and begins firing. Ladies and gentlemen, things changed. Troy says they turned on him. So then, they said that he immediately called his father. He said, quote, he told his father he had to do it. The people turned on him and he had to do it. He's going to tell you all the things that happened at the top of that desolate kudzu patch in Anderson County, South Carolina. So they're saying he had a harrowing experience, and he's lucky to be alive.
That's for sure. He's going to get on the stand, though.
They're saying he's going to, in this type of case, you have to. Yeah. If you're saying self-defense, I killed him, but you have to get up there and say, well, what a heart, you had no choice.
Sure.
So, they found the truck. Like they said, the truck was full of bullet holes. But now, Troy's gun was found on the front seat. 2 7-bullet clips were also found. 10 bullet holes were found in the victims. They think 11 shots were fired. They said he had, quote, the defendant had to reload before he finished slaughtering these people, is what the prosecution said. The truck's back window was open, even though it was really cold. Yeah. It's mid-November. It gets cold down south in mid-November.
Sure. It snows down there.
Oh, fuck, yeah, it's cold. So they said it was bitterly cold, but the back window was open, and they were saying that they were speculating that Stacy Walters was trying to escape the extended cab through the back window when this was all going on, and that's why he had tried to do that, and that was the thing there. Wade Kahn testified here. It's Sonia's brother. He testifies that the Walters brothers and another man picked up his sister in Shane's truck at 5:45 a.m. About a half hour later, he said he saw the truck pull into the driveway again. He thought it was his sister coming back, but nobody came in. After a few minutes, the truck left. He says, quote, I'm sure as I know my name that he saw that the truck came back for a second time. I don't know what the significance of that is exactly. I'm not positive, but apparently Troy must have drove the truck there. I don't know if he's just backtracking.
Who knows?
Why would you stop at the person's house? It's really weird. I guess maybe so then the truck could be seen there so he could say, I don't know, I dropped her off.
Yeah.
Somebody must have grabbed her on the way up the driveway. I don't know what to say. So that's a theory. I don't know. So the defense here on cross-examination when he's on the stand, Troy is, by the way, denying all the accusations. He says, quote, I did not stomp anyone and I did not shoot anyone on the ground. And he describes it as a 5-second fight for his life against 3 people. He said Shane, Stacy, even Sonia jumped on him to take him. They turned into an elite tactical hit squad
tactical rape squad.
Rape and hit squad as soon as they got to that patch. It was like all fun and games, and we're doing meth off of CDs, and they got to the patch, and it was like all the air got sucked out of the truck. It's rape and kill time. They turned it. It was like when the Sopranos, when they got pussy on the boat. They were all joking, and once they got out there, it was like, all right. And then they had to talk to him. He's like, what's going on, guys? And that's what happened basically here. Elite hit squad. So 5-second episode, he said he had no choice but to kill them all in self-defense. The sheriff, Gene Taylor here, he testifies that Ronnie Burkhart, they're talking, he's saying it's all my uncle orchestrated the whole thing. So they bring a sheriff to testify that Ronnie, the uncle, was a target of an extensive local and federal drug investigation, including ties to area attorneys and Florida lawyers. Now, he says Ronnie Burkhart also, while this is going on, Ronnie ends up dying in April of 2000.
Really?
So this is going to become very moot of what Ronnie did in a minute here. And shortly after, this is kind of right at the end of this trial, he dies of cancer. Now, Ronnie never testified, but all the defense people that testified against him or about him said that he was someone to be feared. Shortly after marrying Ronnie, his wife Janice was arrested and ended up having to plead guilty for giving false information to a federal agent about a $390,000 cashier's check.
Holy shit.
So whatever he's doing, he's into something shady, because I've never been given a $390,000 cashier's check. So, you have to be into something. So the state also targeted $1.3 million that was left in the control of various attorneys with more than 260 acres and land parcels throughout the county here that were identified as purchases for drug money laundering. Ooh. So he was buying tons of land just to launder the money.
Got it.
That was his whole thing. So that they were testifying, they were trying to build the defense that Ronnie was a big drug kingpin and a guy that could order something like this.
It sounds like it's possible.
It sounds like that's possible. That's the thing. Anything could have happened here. We have no fucking idea. When you throw all the meth in, it's like, who the fuck knows? But the way the science goes down, it seems like he shot people while they were on the ground incapacitated and then stomped on them, which is not good.
No.
It just doesn't look good
for you. Doesn't look good for self-defense.
Especially when you say, as soon as I got him away from me, I just got out of there as fast as I can because I was in such fear for my wife and father.
Right.
Like, it's different here. They talk about all these different properties. Now, Troy insists that his knowledge of his uncle's operations put him in line to be killed by his uncle. Mm-hmm. He said, quote, my uncle's own stepson, as well as another employee, testified they all worked for my uncle and that he, in fact, wanted me killed. Mm-hmm. So that's what he's saying here. Now, they also asked the sheriff, quote, the only time you heard about this alleged fear was from the family after the killings occurred. Isn't that right? And the sheriff said yes, which, I mean, was he going to go to the cops, even if that was true, and say, my drug dealing murderer uncle I'm scared of him. What the fuck are we going to do? I'm reading the paper and eating this Danish. Don't you see my feet up on my desk? Jesus Christ.
I'm definitely busy.
I'm super busy. Can't even do it here. So, they talked about Warren and Ronnie's fighting over disputes and all that sort of shit, and the fact that they got in fist fights in court, and they talked about specific lawsuits that they were involved in with business dealings and everything. One of the people said Warren puts a lot of blame on Ronnie for his problems, which happened there. Now it goes to the jury. Now, the instructions are important here.
I am riveted. At
the trial, the judge instructs the jury on murder, voluntary manslaughter, and self-defense.
Right.
The defense counsel submits a number of written requests for the judge to charge the charge concerning self-defense. Mm-hmm. Two of which would have charged the jury that the state must prove the defendant did not act in self-defense. Because that's part of the law. If you claim self-defense, then they have to prove you didn't act in self-defense rather than you proving you did act in self-defense.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's technically the law, but in the end, you're proving you acted in self-defense.
Yeah.
If you're depending on that, you're going to lose. So, So they said they must prove that, but so it has to be specifically instructed that way. Instead, in addition to the basic 4-element self-defense instruction, the judge charged, quote, the defendant, ladies and gentlemen, is not required to prove the defense of self-defense. All burdens of proof in this case are on the state and remain with the state, which sounds like exactly what I just said in legal language. But apparently it's not. Now, the judge did not charge the reasonable doubt instruction submitted by the defense, which was you have to find that they did it beyond a reasonable doubt, which is that's the basis for everything that happens in the court, or whatever. Yeah, just the law here. So the defense counsel objected that the charge that wasn't given the way they said it, and the judge refused to add the charge, finding that it had been given to be sufficient light to present the law of relating the burden of proof. So he basically said they know what I'm talking about.
They get it.
But there's specific words for a reason. So the defense counsel says later on, you should really do this because this will be a new trial thing later on. So all this sort of shit. So the verdict comes in. The jury deliberates for 4 hours on a Thursday night, and they were sent to a hotel. They'd been sequestered for 10 days. It's a small area. And they deliberated for an hour on Friday morning, and then they said, I'm going to go fishing this weekend. So we're going to fucking decide this shit.
Wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up. They do Friday morning. They return their verdict, and it is guilty. They convict him of all 3 counts of murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime. So he's pretty fucked here. His sister's there. She's sobbing and running out of the courtroom and all that sort of thing. His wife left the courtroom with his lawyers and, also crying, and she collapsed outside the door and was, crying, and her mother was trying to pull her up and all that sort of shit. There was a bunch of his family members were there. So then we go to sentencing, and, he's up for the death penalty, and he is found guilty of, in an aggravated way, murdering 3 people in a terrible way. So he is found for this. You, sir, may fuck off. They give him the death penalty for this shit. Yeah, death penalty, which is it's kind of a murky thing, but okay. So there's a 2002 appeal. Now, this appeal is that the trial judge committed reversible error in refusing to charge. It's the jury thing that we talked about here. He argued that it's error and it needs to be reversed and all this sort of shit. If there's any evidence in the record to support self-defense, the issue should be submitted to the jury. They said a jury charge is correct if it contains the correct definition of the law when read as a whole. But then they look at like 5 different cases and try to take this apart. And I would think if it wasn't in a death penalty case, it'd probably be a little less ticky-tacky with the language, but in a death penalty case, you can't take that back. So you kind of got to make sure that shit's correct. So I'm okay with that. So they said current law requires the state to disprove self-defense once raised by the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt. So they said that we do not believe, this is the appeals people here, we do not believe the trial judge's self-defense charge adequately conveyed that the state had the burden of disproving self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt as required. It is the substance of the law and not the particular verbiage of a charge that determine whether the charge is adequate. And in this case, the trial judge's charge did not accurately communicate the substance of the law. So yeah, they're saying that's not a good thing here. As noted, they said, though, to warrant reversal, the judge's refusal to give their request a jury charge must be both erroneous and prejudicial to the defendant. Don't worry, the legal shit will be over in a second. There's more craziness. So they go through all of this. They said clearly the judge's instruction carries far more weight with the jury than the defense counsel's word in his closing argument. We cannot assume the jury was able to connect the state's general burden to prove appellant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt to the trial judge's charge regarding self-defense, when the judge failed to mention the reasonable doubt standard at all and only said the defendant did not have to prove self-defense. The trial judge's charge only implicitly placed burden on the state, and that's not sufficient under the law. Conclusion is his case is reversed and remanded.
Oh, boy.
New trial for this motherfucker.
Oh, boy.
Or at least if they want to try him again, I mean, they can decide to let him go, I guess. Yeah. But his conviction is reversed here. Yeah. So March 2004 is trial number 2. Okay. So trial number 2, he just goes through the same thing. I went to pick up my wife and my father. I was so scared. Oh my God. He says that he calls Sheriff Taylor as a defense witness who now testifies again about Ronnie, who's now dead. He says that Ronnie at one time was an international drug smuggler. This is the sheriff talking. In cocaine and marijuana with connections to violent drug lords. On cross-examination, though, the sheriff stated that Ronnie was very careful in his dealings. They asked him, quote, "Did you ever uncover anything that showed Shane and Stacy were on any of this inside circle that Ronnie Burkett would have trusted them?" And Sheriff Taylor answered, no. There's no evidence that they even knew each other. So that's a thing. Also, the defense tries to get the sheriff's testimony that Shane had been arrested for buying a 1/16 of an ounce of meth from an undercover agent in December 1995. But this ended up being objected to on the grounds of relevance, and it was excluded. They were trying to say, see, he bought meth 2 years ago, a 1/16 of an ounce, so that's less than an eighth. Yeah. He bought a fucking tiny drop of meth 2 years ago, so that must mean that he's a rapist hitman for my international drug dealer uncle, obviously. Duh. Right. Fuck, I mean, look through the jails. They're all rapist hitmen, every one of these people arrested for drug offenses. So he claims the exclusion of this evidence prejudiced him because it indicated a relationship between the brothers and Ronnie that would substantiate his claim of self-defense. The sheriff also testified that Ronnie was out of the drug business by 1991, so that wouldn't have been, he didn't buy him from him, and that Ronnie never dealt in methamphetamine and knew no connection between Shane's 95 drug transaction and a guy who stopped selling drugs that weren't the one he bought 5 years before that, obviously. So they say, in absence of any killing or absence of any evidence linking any of this shit, he's convicted again. Okay. So guilty again, fucker. So now there's resentencing. Gotta do this again. During the sentencing phase, he objected to testimony by a state's witness who was the director of inmate classification for the Department of Corrections. This is during sentencing. Regarding the privileges available to an inmate who receives a sentence of life without parole. They're trying to tell the jury that he's going to have this big cushy life if he gets life without parole. Right. And, and he's going to be laughing about these dead people. So they said these privileges include access to the yard, work, education, meals, canteen, phone, library, recreation, mail, television, and outside visitors. On cross-examination, the prison guy acknowledged that prison life is, quote, very regimented and is not a country club. So they tried to make it sound like it was so nice, and then they're like, yeah, let's talk about the other shit about prison.
You don't get to do anything until you're told.
And so you get to sit there and read your mail. Wow, that's a real luxury. Right. So, I mean, it's better than being dead, don't get me wrong. True. That's preferable. So he also presented evidence through his own witness that the prison's a harsh environment with violent predators where his freedom is severely curtailed. They ignore all of this shit, though, and he is, you, sir.
Yes.
Again, death.
Okay.
So they've killed him twice now. Yeah. 2 death penalties. Now, he decided not to address the jury before it deliberated his penalty, which is never smart.
That's not good.
So after the sentence was handed down, he did speak briefly, saying that his only statement was that he, quote, looked forward to the return of the Lord.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know.
I hope all this burns down.
He just said, end times. Yeah. Any minute now. He's tapping his watch. Any fucking minute now. That's what I'm really looking forward to. This other bullshit, I don't know. I don't know what you guys want to watch on TV or whatever, but end times, all lined up. Stacey Walters' mother said she was, quote, unmoved by his words. She said, I think he's a really sick person and needs some help. Well, that goes without saying, probably. The mothers of the other of Sonia and also the Walters mother say that Burkhart declined an offer from their families and prosecutors to plead guilty in exchange for life. Yeah. So he could have gotten life and he wouldn't do the deal. And so he gets a death penalty. So he appeals again. He appeals again. This is a lot about Uncle Ronnie. Same shit. Sheriff Taylor testifying that Ronnie was out of the drug business, yada, yada. They talk about this appeal, though, is about, one, the evidence that he feels was excluded was that evidence of Shane's drug arrest or Shane's drug arrest and how that somehow connected him to the uncle, and also the prison conditions testimony on the sentencing. That's a big deal. And they say here in legalese, quote, we have long held the evidence in the sentencing phase of a capital trial must be relevant to the character and defendant of the defendant or circumstances of the crime. And they go into all this sort of thing here. They say the jury's sole function is to make a sentencing determination based on these factors, not to legislate a plan of punishment. Such determinations as the time, place, and manner and conditions or of execution or incarceration are reserved to agencies other than the jury. Based on this reasoning, we've disallowed the defense evidence regarding the process of electrocution in different cases, because people have tried in death penalty cases, they tried to bring up how awful electrocution is, so the jury doesn't vote for electrocution, and they've ruled that you're not allowed to do that. So you're also not allowed to say how great prison is compared to the death penalty. So it goes both ways. So he said in a recent case, the defendant challenged on appeal that the admission of evidence regarding general prison conditions, and he was let out. So they said, we apply that reasoning here because it's consistent with our longstanding rule that evidence in the sentencing phase of a capital trial must be relevant, like we said before. They said, we note, however, that the evidence of the defendant's characteristics may include prison conditions if narrowly tailored to demonstrate the defendant's personal behavior in those conditions. Yeah. So what they basically said was evidence on prison conditions presented during the sentencing phase was irrelevant, should not have been allowed. They said, quote, you can't give the death penalty because the guy may get to go to the library or because he has a television in his cell. Okay. That's not what the fucking point is. So the conviction is affirmed. The sentence is reversed. So
they got a new sentencing.
So now he's got a new sentencing, but the conviction is affirmed. So he doesn't have to do a new trial. So 2007, they're going to have another sentencing hearing and this big and this is a huge deal. They're going to drag the families. So think about the families of the people who've been shot. They came in for a trial, then a sentencing, and then an appeal. So then another trial and another sentencing, and then another appeal. This is like, and this has been going on.
It over and over and over again.
Yeah, for 10 years. Right. This is 2007. So this has been going on for 10 fucking years now. Before this, he has a conversation with a reporter, Troy does, and he says, quote, that there was someone else in that kudzu patch on that night. That's his claim now. And he said that person was his Uncle Ronnie. Now he's claiming that his Uncle Ronnie was personally there and killing everybody. He's Kaiser Soze now, this fucking guy.
So he set up this hit, and then when it didn't work, he wiped them all out.
And also that Ronnie had people with him also to do this. So they killed that.
A condom strapper.
Exactly. Right. There's got to be, hey, put a condom on that. That fucking guy needs a condom on his. When we kill people, we put a condom on their dick. You know this gang works.
Unbelievable.
It's our calling card. So Troy says, quote, it's like pulling hair trying to get them to come forward. Now, first of all,
it's teeth.
Pulling hair is pretty fucking easy. As a matter of fact, pulling teeth is slightly harder.
Yeah.
Pulling pubes.
Also, I guess
it's like pulling pubes. You got to reach down their pants and grab them. It's much harder.
He sure made it the stereotype of people in the South missing teeth. Much easier to swing at.
No shit.
It's like pulling. Well, nobody's really got them.
Yeah, that's
hair.
Amazing. Hair. That's nobody got teeth. Now, he says about this guy who was with Ronnie, quote, he needs to be contacted. The past 4 days, I've been trying to get an officer to come down here so I can tell him everything. Mm-hmm. You've had 10 years to do this. His sister says it's an uphill battle. She says, quote, apathy is our biggest hurdle. It all seems so beyond our control, and it's so frustrating. Yeah. His sister Lori and his wife have both proclaimed his innocence. It's all self-defense. They say they also hurt for the victims' families, obviously. They say, quote, her sister says, I pray their families will have peace. She said she's moved back to Seneca to care for Warren, who's got cancer. Warren dies in 2010, by the way. The father, Burkhart's wife here, Michelle, also moved back to the county after she was helping a sick sister in Charleston. Now, Michelle says that her husband has now been in jail longer than they have been. They were together.
Yeah, before he was in jail.
Yeah, he said they're still married. Yeah. By the way, 10 years later, she said, quote, we were engaged for 1 year and married for 5 years, and then he's been in prison ever since. She and Lori have been friends since high school. She says, she met Troy back when they were 15. She says, quote, I pray for mercy and grace every day. Troy feels like when he is sentenced to life, he will be killed in jail. Yeah. Troy has told the truth from day one. She's trying to say that there's hits out against him in jail.
She's really in it.
Oh, hardcore.
She's really inside. She really believes in him.
She believes in him. Yeah, she absolutely does. It's sweet.
Good for him.
Yeah, she believes that he thinks that associates of a long dead ex-drug dealer are going to hunt him down in jail.
Wow.
For the reason of who knows what the fuck. So, these people here, though, the families have had enough. They're just tired of it. It's 2 trials, all these death sentences like we just talked about. They said that there's just, they don't feel like there's any justice every time a trial's ordered. They're like, well, what do we just do? Right. So stop fucking things up and giving him reasons to appeal. So the father of the Walters guys here, so Lawrence Walters, says he couldn't watch another retrial. He says, quote, this trial is no justice. I'm not going to sit down there and have them make a mockery of my 2 sons laying up there in the ground, which is understandable. Also, Deborah Burnham, who is Sonia's mom, says she was deeply disturbed here. She said, quote, we don't need this. All we've got is going to the graveyard and grieving for my child and Shane and Stacy. I know them boys, and they were good boys, and Sonia wasn't with them 25 minutes, and she never even met Mr. Burkhart, and now she's dead. I've lived with those pictures of my daughter's brains being blown out. That's fucking horrible. Jesus. He said, he said he never met her until that day and only knew her 25 minutes when he shot her in the face 3 times. That's fucking brutal. Yeah, you hear that. That's awful. And the father of Walter's father says he can't forget it. He says, you don't forget a call to go to the Anderson Hospital and the morgue to identify your sons, and you see that they are sickening blue color and blood is running out of their heads and ears where that idiot shot them.
My word.
I love that he called him an idiot.
It was sweet of him.
Where that idiot shot him. Yeah. That's just something about that makes it like kind of, that idiot shot my damn kids. You're like, he is an idiot. Yeah, that's fucking stupid of him to do that.
He wanted to swing harder, but he couldn't find the word.
Couldn't get it. So July is 2007 is supposed to be the re-sentencing. Yeah. No, and then re. So be because the first one is just sentencing. Yeah. So 2 re's. Yep. 2 re's here. This is about a dozen of all these people come to court and all this type of shit. Now, the judge here, Judge Nicholson, he was on the bench during the second trial. He denied Troy's motion that he step down from this trial. The motion argued that the judge is also hearing a civil case involving Uncle Ronnie's estate and the father fighting and all this shit. So he couldn't possibly be a judge here. Judge Nicholson also, he denies that Troy's request to be relieved of his attorneys. I guess he wants to have self-defense now also, apparently here. Burkhart said it's his uncle, yada, yada, yada. The judge cut him off and he said, we're not here to prove innocence or guilt. I don't want to hear your fucking shit. We're here to do sentencing.
This is a 3-peat.
Yeah, that's what they do. And the sentencing is said to be, at this point, they said that he'd been offered life before and all this. The prosecutor said they were prepared to seek a 3rd death sentence, but the victims' families jumped in and said, don't do it. We can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Fucking, we just want closure.
Yeah.
End it now. Just tell him life, and we'll fucking, because the conviction's affirmed, so it's either life or death, and if the prosecutor says life, they're just going to give him life.
And it's over.
And it's over. And they said life, and it's life. And so they give him life without the possibility of parole. Shane's mother here, I guess her aunt read her statements calling Burkhart a sorry human being who took her sons, and now she finds herself crying for hours every night.
Dead right.
And she's absolutely on the money here. And and Shane's sister says she read her statement here. She said, quote, about Troy, he should sit in the small cell and think about what he did. He took my brother and uncle. Why is he even given a choice? The Bible should be our law. An eye for an eye. Something's wrong when the murderer has more rights than the victim. Okay, I get you're upset. I don't want to hear about the Bible being our law. It's the last thing I want as our fucking law is the Bible or any other piece of literature for that matter. Yeah. Anything. You name a book, I don't want it to be our fucking law unless we've all discussed it and it's called a book of laws that we've all worked out amongst each other.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. I'm out.
Nothing that was written thousands of years ago can be a law book for the modern society. It just doesn't work. So sorry. Hey, whether you love the Bible or not, not saying anything bad about it, just shouldn't be the law of the land. So, the Burkhart's father, his wife, his sister were all there, but they did not address the court and all that. So you, sir, hey, fuck off, life without parole. 2009. This is fucking terrible. Vandals walked to the back of a graveyard here and damaged Sonia's grave.
What the
Sonia
fuck,
Khan.
Man?
Her grave was undisturbed at this point. This was in 2009. Her mother believes the vandalism was a message to her, the mother. She says it's unsure if it's related to her daughter's death. She said the grave was the only one disturbed among dozens at the church. They broke a cement statue of an angel and a solar-powered cross between 9 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. And they said, quote, it appeared as if the suspect kicked several of the items which were on the grave over and some of the gravel off the grave site. So an investigation's been opened, and she says, the mother, quote, it would take a ruthless person. I can't say who or why anyone would do this. And they said that there's only a strip of parking spaces that separates the graveyard from the highway, which seems like a depressing final resting place. Jesus. And there's no trees to obstruct a view from the highway. Her grave is at the back of the cemetery, and she's buried in a plot with two relatives. There's no sign that any of the other graves were fucked with. So they were like, why would she go specifically for her? She said the damage has opened old wounds. She said, quote, there's a message from somebody, but I don't know who it is. So who the fuck knows? In 2010, Troy appeals again. Appeals
fucking guy.
His convictions and his sentencing, arguing the trial court committed reversible error by failing to conduct an adequate hearing in response to his request to relieve his counsel. Like we said last time he wanted, and they said, you know what? Go fuck yourself. No thanks. They deny it. It is decided without a hearing. Just a piece of paper saying, eat dicks, Troy. Enjoy life without parole. You have taken enough of this court's time. And so that, my friends, is South Carolina, Townville, South Carolina. Troy Burkhart, the Walters, Sonia Khan. What a mess. We don't know exactly what happened still. No way of knowing it.
If we go by conviction, we know what happened, but it still doesn't tell the story.
It doesn't tell the story.
3 people are dead and he did it.
I know what happened. I don't know why. Because, if you're up and they hadn't slept a lot, up drinking meth for days at a time, who knows?
Could have been anything.
He could have completely misconstrued something. Something could be said as a joke that he took the wrong way, and then he took a gun out, and then they said, hey, what the fuck, and went to grab it, and then there was a struggle, and then he shot one, and then he had to shoot them all, because then, you know what I mean? And then at that point, it was out of control. Or they could have said, we're going to fucking do this. I mean, who knows what happened? We don't know. That's what I mean. He doesn't know. Are you fucking Ned Beatty or Tony Soprano? Honestly, which one are you?
I'm so glad that shit's over, though.
Either way, you're chunky.
My God.
Either way, you're chunky.
Either way, you got cholesterol.
You're chunky and your hairline's not great, but that's fine.
The hairline's
still
too bad.
Terrific actor in both cases. And you're dead. Is Ned Beatty dead?
Ned Beatty, yes. Warren, no.
Warren, no. Yeah, no. Ned, I think he's dead. I haven't seen him in a long time. So if you're not dead, Ned Beatty, get in some fucking movies again. Jesus, you're a pretty goddamn good actor. So that is Townville, South Carolina. If you like that show, we didn't talk about this at the top of the show to get into. As you see, the story was thick. Please get on iTunes, give us 5 stars, Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. Say you're following instructions or following directions or whatever. It really doesn't matter, but that helps drive us up the charts a ton. We don't know why. We don't make the algorithm that causes that to be the case.
True.
But that's the case. If you want to do more or just want to check it out, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Right. Please go there for all of your needs. There's new shirts up all the time, merchandise, stuff that you can wear to a live show. Mm-hmm. And there's a full slate of live shows laid before you, all the way through 2020. And just announced is a Crime and Sports live show in Phoenix on, what's the date? October 19th. Yeah. Yes, that's what I thought too. We both thought it. It's probably true.
It's probably true.
So yeah, in Phoenix on October 19th. All the rest are small town murder dates. Get your tickets now. Yes. You can do that very easily. Follow us on social media. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, and at Small Town Pod on Facebook. And you can find out about shit that comes out before we talk about it on the show in terms of tickets and stuff like that. Follow it. That's right. And also, if you want to be a hero of ours, damn it, one of our fabulous, fantastic producers who, God damn it, you're our friends more than anything. Thank you. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crime and sports, or you can go to PayPal and use our email address, which is
crimeandsports@gmail.com.
That's right. And you can make a one-time donation there. You can get to both of those places right from our website, too. There's links to that. And Jesus, do we appreciate
Boy, do we.
every fucking penny, and every penny you give us, every second you spend telling people about us or, tweeting about us or posting about whatever. Thank you fucking guys so much. And you know what? I think it's time. You're wearing your condom ahead of time, so why don't you go ahead and give me that list of names, Jimmy?
This week's executive producers are Calvin Donnell, Amy Spicer, Josh Smith, who is an Army soldier, and his brother... Josh Smith donated because of his Army soldier brother, Zach Smith. That's what happened.
Oh, cool.
Thanks you very much.
Thanks to both of you.
Natalie Murath, yes. Cameron Kushwara, Jimmie, Amy, and Marissa Crawford. Those are 3 people. Jonathan Gottlieb, Justin Miller, Ashton Weinberger, Robert Aldred. Thank you guys so much for what you guys do. We can't do this thing without you. The rest of our producers this week are Natalie Nicole Guifaro, Catherine Judd, Elizabeth Yarwood, Jonathan Ostrowski, Jessica McPhail, Chris Voss, Troy Graham, Aaron Taylor, Josh Cole, Mark McLean, Aaron Nolas. No last name. That's not his last name.
You're like, no last name? Nolas Nami. Thank you.
Thomas Smith, Emmanuel Christian, Lula Wadham. Yes, Lula Wadham. Chelsea Morgan. Yes. Taylor Beams. What is this? What did I do? Oh, happy birthday, Alex Richardson, from his wife, Alyssa. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, you fucker.
Penn Basingwaith. Yes. Carl Hellier. Alyssa. Oh, that's Alyssa. Retta Ekstrom. That's what it is. Natalie Elrod, Brittany Hancock, Michelle Kolb, Audrey Martinezzi, Keely Weiss, Lonnie Hall, Dan McPhee, Erica Larmont, Tyler Gwill, Eric Showers, Alyssa Sylvester, Jen Stoner. Is that right? Yeah. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Dylan Arseb. Oh, what have I done? I'm so sorry. Arst? No. I don't know what the last name is. Sorry, Dylan. Rachel Bailey Sims, Michelle Nguyen, Mary Palmer, Lindsay Trotter, Morgan Sam, Courtney Divan, Amanda Nordby, Jillian Whitson, Allison Hutley, Jennifer Cox, Allison Morris, Carmel Puttyfoot, Tanya Ends. Damn it. It's one of those. Lauren Demarath, Ryan Milligan, Aradia Nightingale, Teresa Thomas, John Jackson.
Nice name.
It is. Sada.
Not Tom Jackson, Aradia Nightingale.
Yeah, John Jackson.
Sorry, John.
Sada Bwilder, I think it is. I can't read.
Sodom?
No, SATA?
Oh, Sada.
Oh, B. Wilder. That's what it is. Okay. Sada Wilder. That's it.
They said Sodom Wilder. I'm like, okay.
Kimberly McCarthy, sure. Bridget Helgoth, Evie Rose, Stephen Rude, Lauren O'Brien, Jeffrey Smith, Callie Shinkunis, Richie Heyman, Jasmine Berninger, Stephanie Igoa, Ryan Anderson, Liv Browning, Brendan Abels, Kelly Reed, Jamie Schaefer, Casey Handel, Ashley Wells, Lanny Blunk, Rob Madursky. That's that fellow that came down. He was a trucker. I forget. He brought his daughter, I think, in Detroit.
I know him. Yeah.
Rob. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks,
Teacup with no last name. Joshua Bain, Paul Ruest, Andrea Weir, Liz Vasquez, Max Joshua, Kate Olson, Jesse Hartman, Lee Coons, The Fridge. I doubt it's The Fridge.
Let's hope so.
But, yeah.
Thanks, Fridge.
Reagan Shalkley, Catherine Judd.
Whole number 72 coming through for us. Huh?
Stephanie Smichael, Francis Hitsky, Mark Foster, Baron Leisure Pool, Molly Hewitt, Fabio Raimondi, last ones, running home stretch. Robin Anderson, Trey Valkanar, Brian Sutherland, Peyton Meadows, Calvin Mingione, it's Italian, I'm sure.
Hey, Mingione.
Luis Dorward, Ryan Shank, Kaylee Kirsch, Anthony Canella, Mary Stewart, David Albery, and Ashley Vio, and of course all of our Patreon donors. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. We can't do it without you.
Thank you, everybody.
It's real.
From the bottom of our goddamn dead cold black hearts. Mm-hmm. You guys can penetrate the surface and get through to our souls. You can. Like, there's no sunlight getting through, but you guys, there's a crack. In
an episode with a condom already on, you got to throw penetrate.
Why'd you think I said that? Jesus.
God, man.
He's wearing condoms as the
fuck. Thank you all. You're fucking incredible.
You guys are the best. What if somebody wanted to tell you you're incredible, Jimmie? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I really appreciate it. Oh, here's three more. Michelle Terry, Natalie Yulvin, and John Sabrisi is having surgery today. So he was going to throw the show on right after he woke up. So I hope you heard it, and I hope you loved it, and I hope you heal up fast. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmie P is Funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description and check us out there. Also, you might want to look at our at Small Town Murder Instagram to see our 5-minute OJ. Mm-hmm. We discussed the entire OJ murder and trial in 5 very concise minutes. And it's with a timer and everything. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. Check that out. We have a lot of fun. But that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us again and again and again. And guess what? We'll be here again next week.
You're damn right.
You couldn't get fucking rid of us if you tried. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.